Welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Todd Anderson.
And we've got Josh in the booth. Say what's up, Josh.
What's up, Josh?
There we go.
Josh will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. We are back at our regularly scheduled time and back with the one and only Todd Anderson.
Yeah, this guy.
How did it feel yesterday, Todd, getting back in the booth?
It was the first time that I played with physical cards in over a year, and it felt great. I don't know, man. It's like riding a bike. I've tried going back and playing some video games that I used to be good at or whatever. The skill ceiling there is like all physical and like muscle memory and stuff, and that's hard. But Magic, dude, it felt good. So
yeah, I've been sort of lucky throughout the pandemic, kept getting to play on Versus Live with physical cards.
Yeah,
that's what now everybody's just starting to get back to it with organized play coming back a little bit, or local play, I should say.
Yeah.
But we're just running through so many different sweet Modern Horizons 2 cards and decks, and it still feels like there's so much left to explore. Like I keep looking over the list, seeing things that we haven't touched.
Yeah.
We haven't even hit like Riptide Lab. That's a card that both you and I remember a ton of.
So there's one small problem with Riptide Laboratory is that one of Blue's best cards, or two of Blue's best cards, have triple blue in the casting cost. Both Cryptic Command and Archmage's Charm kind of exist as the end game for most blue decks right now.
Yeah.
And Riptide Laboratory being a colorless land puts that at odds. But I'm sure there's a Riptide Laboratory deck. You can't not bounce Snapcaster Mage in like a control deck. But the cost will be not being able to play Archmage's Charm.
But enough with cards that we haven't gotten to yet. I'm sure we will over the coming weeks. We've got 6 more decks today, and what are you starting with?
So today I'm going to be playing Mono Blue Delver. I know that's really out of character for me, playing a Delver deck, but Murktide Region was previewed just a few days ago, and it looked so awesome, just like this giant blue version of Tombstalker with some weird little play patterns with Thought Scour. I felt like you could make a pretty big flyer on turn 2 without a lot of trouble. So we're just trying to see how that plays in a Delver deck, because it's a threat that doesn't die to Fatal Push, probably doesn't die to Lightning Bolt, and honestly, it just looks great.
Yeah, definitely a powerful card. An improved Tombstalker for sure.
Yeah.
And that's a card with quite the pedigree. On my side, I'm going to be playing a little Domain Zoo, a deck I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of variants of over the coming weeks. This is mine, and honestly, what I wanted to do with the first version of this deck that I played was just throw everything at the wall and learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to end up being a list that needs to have significant changes to be made to it, but I don't know what those changes are. So I just want to see all of the new cards. So I'm playing both Scion of Draco and Territorial Kavu,
Both of which I think are extremely good.
definitely very powerful, but they play a little bit awkwardly. In particular, Scion of Draco plays awkwardly with the rest of the traditional Domain Zoo shell, because what you want to do with that card is fetch a Triome on turn 1, then fetch the Shockland that's the other 2 types, so you can cast it on turn 2.
Yeah.
And those Triomes really muck up your curve when you're trying to play 1-drops and be aggressive. We'll see how much that matters. I'm hoping a lot of the time I can just go, 1-drop, 2-drop, then fetch Triome or fetch something else tapped, plays the Scion on turn 3, and then already grant some abilities to those creatures that are immediately attacking.
Yeah.
But, we'll learn how, the curve is messed up. I'm playing Ragavan as one of my 1-drops, just a great card.
Love it.
The treasure tokens really help, fix your mana.
You can also clear, you get to clear blockers pretty well with, Tribal Flames, Lightning Bolt, things like that. So you're going to make space for Ragavan to actually get in and make those treasure tokens. One thing, we talked a little bit about yesterday, but Ragavan's strength comes from making the treasure tokens. I think the randomness of the top of your opponent's deck, combined with the fact that you don't get to play lands off of it, means that it's going to be somewhat rare, not like rare, but somewhat rare that you get to cast a good spell off the top of your opponent's deck. And more often than not, you just get to kind of snowball with the mana advantage off the treasures.
Yeah, and I'm a deck that has a good number of 1 and 2 drops, so an additional treasure often means casting an additional spell that turn, even if it's not off the top of the opponent's deck. Also playing some Scourge of the Skyclaves, just because I'm a deck with a lot of 1-drops and fetches and shocklands. Just a card that fits really well. And because I think I'm going to be, my curve can sometimes be a little bit awkward, even though it's very low, I'm trying to put out some Temur Battle Rages and Become Immenses as a really nice finisher, because there's plenty of big creatures around, and then Stubborn Denial to play some defense. So cool looking deck.
Yeah, a
Hopefully it
lot
works
of
out well.
moving pieces. So now, normally Mono Blue Delver deck has a little bit of trouble against the more aggressive decks in the format, but I do get to be on the play for game 1, and Vapor Snag actually has a lot of value against Ross because of his 2-drops and Sign of Draco. So this could be a pretty close match, and I'm excited to see if my Murktide Regents can actually get the job done.
Murktide Regent, he says. Yeah, I've got a 1-lander that only casts one of my spells.
Yeah, my hand's kind of bad too. We played like a couple of test games before this, and my hands were a lot better. All right, well, while
You
we're
should know that's always how it goes on versus Todd.
All right, well, while we're taking mulligans, if you got a question or two for us or any fun things from the chat, we'd love to hear them from you. You're good. How's everybody feeling today? Hope y'all are having a good Thursday. It's almost the freaking weekend. Any plans?
Watch the rest of the Mavericks Clippers series to see who
Cool.
the Jazz play in the second round.
I am flying to a wedding tomorrow.
Ooh.
First time I've been on a plane in forever.
Where is it?
Illinois. So we actually have to fly to Chicago and then rent a car because it's like an hour from Chicago. And there's no airport anywhere close to where he lives. So, you know.
I like weddings.
Yeah, I haven't been in a wedding in a while, so. I used to hate going to weddings, but I feel like that's just going to be different now.
I like being around people in any capacity possible.
All right, I'm going to keep this hand. It is a little awkward, though, but since I know the matchup and everything, like, I think this hand is just good.
My hand is also awkward, but that's fine.
All right. You Gucci?
Yeah, and you're on the play.
All right, I'm going to go 19 and play a Delver of Secrets. Ooh.
I'm going to go to 17 for a Blood Crypt and play Ragavan.
Okay. Now, I'm kind of good with a land or a non-land tier. As long as it's not a creature, I think I'm Gucci. Trigger Delver.
You're good.
Doop. All right, land is fine. So you're at 17. All right, I'm going to go ahead and fetch.
You're at 18.
Yep. Now, the way my hand is set up, I kind of want to just offer the trade with Delver and Ragavan. But if he declines not to do that or kills it, I don't mind that much. We can fight over other things. But I am going to go ahead and play Serum Visions, and that'll give me some more information on whether or not my Delver is going to transform next turn. So we draw this. We scry 2. We'll keep both those. They're both quite good. And say go.
I will attack.
All right, I think blocking here is just better than any other play, unfortunately.
That'll either force a trade or screw with Todd's scries, so fortunately got to make that trade. I'm going to go to 14, but this Foothills get Breeding Pool, and I will play a Scourge of the Skycliffs.
All right, I'm going to dismember. Does that even work? No.
No.
Wow.
No, it doesn't.
That is vomit-inducing, actually.
Scourge of the Skycliffs, so good.
Wow. Cool.
Very cool.
Yep. All right. Okay. No, that doesn't work. All right, I'm going to go to 17, and I'm going to play a Murktide for 2. We're going to make a
Make it a
4/4.
or 5/5, right? There's 2 spells in there?
No, just Serum.
Oh.
Delver.
Okay. Oh, I saw Delver.
Yeah.
So it's got 1 counter.
Yep. Here you go. Probably played this game a little poorly. Scourge versus Dismember is just stupid. I'm mad. I'm already mad. Game 1.
That's a 4/4.
Yep. Your dude's a 3/3.
3/3. Yeah.
Okay. But fetch will change that pretty easy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, because you have to deal damage to me to make him bigger, right?
Yeah. But what I think I want to do this turn is just play Goblin Guide and attack with both. This way, if you block the Goblin Guide, I get in a pretty good hit. Now my Scourge is bigger than the Regent, which is fine. And if you block the Scourge, it actually doesn't die. Because you will take 2, and then this will be a 5/5 with 4 damage on it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to play Goblin Guide and attack with both. Trigger the Guide.
Okay, block here.
Take 3.
Yep, I'm at
14 all.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got a 6/6, and you're up.
Alright, draw Vapor Snag. Alright, I'm gonna attack for 4.
I'm a 10.
Go. Upkeep. Let's snag it.
Stubborn now.
I'm gonna counterspell that.
I'm
Alright,
at
so you're
9.
9. So I'm hoping he doesn't draw a land here.
You're up.
Nice. Murktide getting in. Attack for 4, put you to 5.
Yep.
Here go.
Jesus. Tribal Flames for 4.
Yeah, that's a tilt actually.
Pass the turn. Okay, didn't have a counter spell, so I'm still in good shape. But
Alright, we're going to play Serum Visions. I don't think we'll need that extra land. That was a great draw. Do we want either of those? No. Bottom 2. Here go.
Jesus, just draw any land.
Mr. Draco's over there. Draco Explosions.
Hey, Scourge.
Counter.
You're up.
Go. Now I can play my Force of Will.
Scourge.
Yep.
Fetch to 4. Get the mountain and play a Rogalin.
Okay.
Pass the turn. Where's the mountain? There it is.
This is brutal. Scourge is so good, man.
Good magic card. I initially tried to work Death Shadow into this deck, and I realized it was just too difficult because I didn't want to play Thoughtseize. But Scourge is a very different card than Death Shadow, even though they're often in the same decks.
13. I know there's a Vapor Snag on bottom, so I'm going to fetch and try to shuffle it back in. It's one of our only ways to get rid of this Scourge once it gets out of Dismember range, which is pretty fast. That second fetch that I did hurt pretty bad when it came to that.
It's pretty easy for me to get myself to 14 with just double fetch shock, and so once you fetch twice, then Dismember doesn't kill it.
Yeah, something to keep in mind for next game. All right, I'm going to draw 2.
Yep.
Okay, 12. Play a Murktide. Alright, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ooh, didn't have the 5th.
I mean, I do, but I'd want to keep this for the Snapcaster.
It's the difference. This is an 8/8, so it's the difference between Murktide being able to rumble and not. Right?
Yeah, but I can just take the hit and hope to not die to Become Immense or Temur Battle Rage. Like, I think I lose to Temur Battle Rage or Become Immense anyway, so I think I just keep this, hope I don't die, and then, like... Does it matter? This sucks. Alright. Whatever. Go. Probably dead. Like, I don't think I win if I block Scourge no matter what, so... Alright, take it.
Bolt you.
I'm at 1.
No. This gets bigger.
Oh, come on. That sucks. Did you draw Bolt or did you have it?
No, I had it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, you drew Temple Garden, which is nice. So even if you had a counter spell, I could play a blocker.
Yeah. Yeah, there were so many tricks where trading with Scourge wasn't worth, and I think I just had to sweat it once. And like, if he had a kill spell from my region, I needed to keep Vapor Snag in the graveyard for the Snapcaster I drew. But mostly, I just drew 2 Dismember against the Scourge guy, and it was never able to kill anything, which sucks.
That is very awkward.
Yeah. All right. Any questions for us while we're hanging out here between games?
Yes. Ed Bingo wants to know why Todd is playing Snag over Suspend.
So they're very different cards. Suspend is decent against opposing creatures that are cheap, but it doesn't actually answer the problem. The creatures come back pretty quickly. I think as just a pure removal spell, Suspend is not good. I talked about this in my article from a week or two ago. I think you need to have a bunch of creatures of your own that you want to target, and I don't think Snapcaster Mage as the only target is that good. Vapor Snag is a way for you to kind of gain traction on the battlefield, protect your life total, and it deals them chip damage. And when you're an aggressive deck like a Delver deck, Vapor Snag is just it's really good.
There's also a lot of value in forcing your opponent to commit more of their mana.
Right.
You know, Suspend never forces them to commit mana, and it comes back in 2 turns instead of 1 turn, but it also comes back with haste. Mm-hmm. So it's really like it came back in 1 turn, right?
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm keeping. I'm on the play for game number 2. If Ross has a mulligan, we'll take another question. But
well, why would I have a mulligan?
Because you're playing a 5-color Domain Zoo deck? Yeah, sure. I'm keeping a 1-lander. I don't know.
I'll keep my hand.
All right, let's do it. Turn 1, Delver. Now, again, we're in a spot where flipping Delver or hitting a land is both good.
So I'll go to 18 for a stomp the ground. Bolt that Delver.
Yep, don't have the Pro Tech.
You're up.
Ooh. All right, let's start with the Seer Visions. All right, 2 really good ones on top. We'll play another Delver. Here we go. Seer Visions plus Delver is very good.
Bolt your Delver.
Fine.
Then I'll go to 16 for a Temple Garden and play a Wild Nacatl.
Yeah, that's a good draw.
Pass the turn.
All right, so we know the top card. Go.
Attack for 3.
17.
Crack Bloodstainmire. I'm going to go to 13 and get... I would like to get Watery Grave, but there's not one in my deck.
What's your blue source breeding pool?
Breeding Pool and...
Steam Vents.
Steam Vents, yeah. So, I guess I will just get Blood Crypt and play Scourge of the Skycliffs.
All right, in response, I'm going to Thought Scour you.
Sure.
I'm going to draw this, and then I'm going to Disrupting Shoal Pitch Snapcaster Mage.
Okay, I'm fine taking the 2 for 1 there.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 cards in hand now?
Yep.
So, got a mill 2.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and go to 16. So we got 16, 13. Scourge is
You
counter.
milled my sweet cards.
Oh, no.
So shouldn't you be? You're at 16 now.
That's what I said.
Okay. Misheard you. So
Right,
we got
good.
16 to 13.
Yep. So I got. So you got dealer. All right. Draw.
Yep.
So
Sure.
Here.
Okay, splits both scries. I know Todd drew 1 card that he wanted and has another one on top. I will attack for 3.
13.
Got 13 all. Then I will play a Wooded Foothills and pass the turn.
Go.
End step, crack the Foothills, go to 12.
Yep.
Get a tapped Breeding Pool.
Okay.
Now we are fully domained. Master of our domain.
On your upkeep, I'm going to try to dismember your Nacatl. And I'm going to be at 9.
That's going to resolve.
Okay. No other actions.
You're at 9. I'm at 12.
Mm-hmm.
Play a Bloodstained Mire. Play a Nicotl.
I'll counterspell it.
And
Tribal Frenzy? That's pretty scary. I don't know.
yep,
All right, I'm at 4.
you can go.
All right, your go. All right, so don't want to take any more damage. Don't want to get in lightning bolt range.
Still on your end step. I'm going to go to 11.
Yeah, that's fine. Tap whatever, but
I'm not going to get the Triome because if I draw the Triome, I'm going to cycle it.
Mm-hmm.
I
You only
I
want that when you need more, the third for domain or whatever.
Just
So.
going to get Steam Vents tapped.
See, him getting the extra blue there kind of leads me to believe that his last card is a Stubborn Denial. So I need to maybe be conscious of that. I don't think his deck has that many blue cards, so getting a second blue source is kind of weird. I feel like Sacred Foundry or something would be more valuable otherwise. I don't know.
I will dash Ragavan.
Okay.
Attack.
I'll play Snapcaster Mage.
Resolves.
Target, Thought Scour.
Trigger on the stack. Bolt Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
Trigger resolves now.
I know, I'm thinking.
Yep.
I guess I will Thought Scour myself.
Sure.
Top 2 or land counterspell. We'll draw a card. Alright, that's fine. I go to
There's
2.
I get a treasure.
Jesus.
That's a good one. I will play it.
Okay. So you go to. I'm at 2.
You're at 2. I'm at 11.
Yep.
End step. This comes back.
Yep. I'll scour myself again. Vapor Snag and whatever. Untap.
It's the first time we've dashed a Ragavan on Versus Live.
Yeah, and it was good. Alright, we'll draw for turn. Alright, go.
Upkeep. Delver trigger.
Mm-hmm. Halt.
Still on upkeep.
Yeah, it flips. Kinda don't care. Alright, I'm gonna steal this. And if he wants to like dash Become Immense and trade, leave it alone, it's fine. I have a Thought Scour too. I'm just thinking if I want to mill it or not. I don't think so. I think I'm kind of cool with you just going like Ragavan, Become Immense, and trade Become Immense for the insect.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Give me a second. I'm thinking. I told you I have a Thought Scour. I'm thinking. It's still on top of your deck. So like, I really don't want to give him another creature, but if that creature is a 1-drop, it's actually not that bad. Sorry, this is hard. Alright, that's fine. You can draw it. My bad.
Okay. Dash Ragavan in the deck.
Block.
Comments.
Yep.
Is there any point to my graveyard?
I
I don't think so.
Okay.
Ragavan back to my hand.
Alright, play another Thought Scour. Draw. Untap. Draw. I'm at 2, so I can fetch this. Your go.
Dash.
I'm gonna counter it.
Pass the turn.
Alright. Do I want to keep the fetch around? I don't think so. I'm gonna go to 1. It's like just for Delver potential, and the extra mana could come in handy in a second. Alright, draw. This has been a good game. Alright, go.
You can go.
Alright, I'm gonna try to draw 2.
That resolves.
Thank God. Thought I was gonna die. Alright, I'll draw 2.
That's pretty good.
Alright, I'm pretty sure I can't lose now. We'll make a million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Murktide Regent.
A Scion Draco.
All right, well, he didn't have anything last turn. Does it get anything?
No, it's just a 4/4 flyer.
Okay. Okay.
Pass turn.
Snap plus Vapor Snag it. Attack for 10.
Yep.
Whoo, baby, that was good.
Didn't think I was losing that game.
Yeah.
And drew kind of poorly. But that's what happens when you play a deck with no card selection.
All right, well, Ross and I are going to take a short break here while we get ready for Game 3. We're going to come back with sideboarding in a moment. We're going to be taking like 2 or 3 questions after we talk about sideboarding, but before we start Game 3, so make sure to get those in so our director can give them to us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Domain Zoo and Mono Blue Delver. On my side of things, bringing in some better disruption in terms of Vindicate, which can actually answer Murktide Regent.
Yep.
Also answers Todd's Threads of Disloyalties. The fourth
like
Stubborn
that.
Denial. And then Klothys is a really nice sticky threat that puts a lot of pressure on Todd that is very difficult to answer. Can also make Murktide Regent worse if I'm able to exile some of the spells from your graveyard. Cutting the Battle Rage Becomment package, not particularly good when you have a bunch of counter spells and Vapor Snags and Snapcaster Mages. And then I needed to cut one other card. I ended up landing on a Goblin Guide. I think the games are going to go a little bit longer, which is typical in post-sideboard games. So Goblin Guide is just the weakest individual card and the worst one-drop. So just trimming one along the edges there.
So I think the story of your sideboarding is mostly that you have some bad cards that you need to get out. You know, like the Battle Rage Become Immense package. Like, it's hard to understate like how good that is against the linear decks that don't interact with you very much. But specifically, 1 mana interaction that breaks that up makes it bad. So any way you can try to get that out of your deck is good. On my side, the 2 Threads of Sulties, being able to take all his creatures except for Cyano Draco, or I don't think he has a 3-drop, but you know, other than the
I
Klothys.
do now.
Yeah, Threads is going to be a pretty devastating play if I draw it in the right spot. Obviously, Summoner Denial can deal with it, Vindicate can deal with it, but just the tempo swing of stealing his biggest creature is pretty huge. Force of Negation, it has targets, but those targets are usually cheap instant speed things that Ross can play at basically any point, and so Force of Negation isn't always going to work. And I think in that scenario, like, I'm very happy with Disrupting Shoal because it can counter your cheap creatures. So obviously I love that as a tempo play, and Force Negation being a tempo play. If this was like, oh no, what's the new pitch?
Subtlety.
If this were Subtlety, I would want Subtlety in my deck, right? That tempo boost is crazy. So, but because this only counters non-creatures, the creatures are the more important part from both sides, I think.
Yeah, definitely agree there.
All right, let's get a question or two here while we're shuffling up for game number 3.
Yeah, they want to know what new archetypes could Modern Horizon 2 take to Tier 1?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, like, as far as existing archetypes are concerned, I'm not really sure. There's so many powerful cards in this set that I feel like more often than not, we're going to see a new archetype get pushed to the forefront. And the third deck I'm playing today is trying out Bloodbraid Marauder and Ragavan in like a Jund shell. And I think that little like Grimflayer Jund Delirium shell with both those cards could just make for like a really powerful 2-drop centric Jund deck where you get to play Lurrus without really caring that much about Lily on the Veil and things like that. So I'm very excited to see if that deck is good because it looks phenomenal on paper. So.
Yeah, and from my side, I think Sacrifice decks got a lot of help here. I think any deck that...
Oh, Bombardment?
Yeah.
Wow, yesterday it was so busted, man.
Yeah. Any deck that takes advantage or that sort of had weak mana but can take advantage of Ignoble Hierarch is a deck that's going to get a huge boost. There's probably something really sweet to do with Shardless Agent, one attempt of which will be coming up later from my side.
Yeah,
so,
I'm looking forward to that.
That's a question that we could answer with 17 different archetypes.
Yeah, and we don't know. To answer your question more fully, we don't know, right? But we do know that there are roughly 20 cards or more from Modern Horizons 2 that are bonkers. and offer some really fun play patterns that are not combo centric, which I think was really missing from Modern for a long time. Obviously, with banning Simian Spirit Guide and some other things, like they took a lot of the wind out of the combo deck sales. But like this is fun Magic. Like I've been having so much fun playing these like fair versus fair decks against you on versus already. So
Yeah, I think Urza decks are another thing that have gotten a lot of help.
yeah. All right, let's get one more.
Is Scion of Draco worth giving up a potential Lurrus as a companion?
Short answer, I don't know. The card seems pretty powerful. We haven't really seen it in these games so far. I don't think this version of a Domain Zoo deck is taking full advantage of it. So in my mind, I'm kind of expecting there to be more traditional Domain Zoo that takes more advantage of Territorial Kavu, and then a different kind of Domain Zoo that takes more advantage of Scion of Draco.
Yeah.
That goes a little bit bigger. And I'm wondering, which one of those is better. And I think by starting at the version I started out with, it will help point me in the direction I'd rather go in. In a more low to the ground, traditional aggressive version, yeah, you probably want Lurrus. But in the more mid-rangey one, you're happy to give it up because your cards are more individually powerful.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think Lurrus obviously is strong, and like Scion of Draco, if there were a card that could get that deck to not play Lurrus, like a 2-mana 4/4 that gives all your creatures like extra bonuses or whatever, has to be like somewhere high up on the list.
And importantly, a 2-mana 4/4 that doesn't die to Fatal Push. So you're dodging Push and Bolt. That's so important for threats in Modern, and that's one of the biggest draws to Scion for me.
And oddly enough, a lot of the black decks have started playing Go for the Throat as the default removal spell, and it also dodges that. Doesn't get hit with a Breath Decay either. People in Modern don't really like to play Assassin Trophy because giving them a land is a nightmare, so I don't know. A lot of little things.
Yeah. My hand is 6 lands Tribal Flame, so I will be sending it back.
Okay. My hand is good enough to keep, but if he has a very 1-drop heavy draw, we could get run over. If I were on the play, this hand would be extremely good because we could have a nice curve of like interaction into some good payoffs, and we could still draw decently and get there. So we'll see how it goes.
Sounds like a classic Corey keep.
No, this hand is very good against every deck in the format except yours. And if you don't have triple 1-drop, I'm maybe okay. But if you have double 1-drop, I'm probably in trouble. If you have 1-drop and a 2-drop, I'll be fine. It'll be like I don't know, whatever. You get it. It's just Magic, baby. Game number 3. This will probably end up deciding match 1 of the day.
Yep. Just had to think about how I was going to sequence my lands here, and that made me decide to put that card back. I'm going to start with a Bloodstained Mire, get a Steam Vents, and play Ragavan.
That's brutal.
Pass the turn.
Go.
Ooh, basic Island, go.
Turn 1 Ragavan against the mono blue deck. Rough.
Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, the one cool thing that Ross can do here with Ragavan is just like getting up to 3 mana on turn 2 in a deck that doesn't play a mana producing creature. Yeah.
I will get a treasure.
Jesus Christ.
You're at 18.
God, Ragavan's broken, man.
I will play a Delver
what
of
the
Secrets.
hell?
Yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go to 14 and get a Overgrown Tomb and play Scourge of the Skyclaves.
Okay, I'm going to Thought Scour myself.
Is that good?
I was trying to find a counter for it.
Okay. I'm at 14. Okay. You're at 18.
Yeah, this is a joke. I can't possibly win. this is actually the exact play pattern that I was afraid of for Ragavan, like entering the format as it is. Like,
yeah, it's on the play. Like you're just put to the test immediately.
Yeah,
it feels like Goblin
the game's over. Like I didn't have an answer for 1, and the game ended. Like, yeah. and there's no question that the game ended.
It's like Goblin Lackey in 2010.
All right, so I'm at what?
You fetched twice?
No. Those are Thought Scour.
Thought Scour. Right. So
I'm
you're
at
just
18, and you're at 17?
I'm at 14.
14?
Double fetch shot. So this is just a 2/2. Scourge is a 2/2 right now, but
it just doesn't matter. I'm just so dead.
I'm just going to reveal Tribal Flames to Delver, hit you for 4. It'll be a 6/6, and you'll basically be dead.
Yeah, I have Borrower to bounce something, but like...
Yeah. You can bounce around Delver.
Actually, that's pretty good. Let's just do that.
Okay.
On an adventure. Here you go.
Doesn't want to try to like see the top card of my deck in case it's a spell, because I could have Stubborn Denial, so...
Yeah. Stubborn Denial in that spot would have actually ended it, instead of probably most definitely ending it. I think... Alright, I'll just wait before I say anything. Till it's my turn. Ross hitting Delver twice off of his 2 Ragavan hits has been disgusting.
That's pretty good.
But there's like very few things you can play off the top of my deck with just 1 treasure, because I'm very reactive. It's like Delver, Snap, and then like nothing. Or Thought Scour Serum, I guess. So my guess is Ross has like a Bolt here, and he's just like taking if he wants to deal me Bolt face, so he gets his Scourge bigger. I don't know.
I'll Tribal Flames you.
Yeah, of course.
Take 4, so you're at 14.
Yeah, so
Attack you
8
for
me,
8.
I'm at 6. You are still at 14.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is an attack for 8 now, so you're at 6. Trigger the Ragavan. Sack this for black and play another Scourge.
Okay. Land? Nope, I died. I had a Threads in hand. I could have maybe stolen the big one and blocked, but...
Yeah.
What a start, man.
But if you had to fetch, then I had Bolt Ragavan.
All right, well, that game was super fast, so let's try to get in at least 1 more. We might be able to get in 2 more and have a true best of 5. If you beat me next game, then we'll just be done, so. But
Yeah.
we still got 2
Oh, yeah, we have plenty of time. That was messed up.
Dude, Ragavan is busted, man. Like,
Yeah.
I wrote a whole article about it. It's up on Star City Games right now. It came out this past Monday. I think it is Deathrite Shaman adjacent.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very
I think it's utterly busted in Legacy, where there's not as many 1-mana removal spells around in decks.
Yep, and you get to play it with Daze, a protection spell that also further enforces the strength of the 1 mana you gain from attacking with it. And Daze stops a potential blocker coming down or a potential interactive piece, which is kind of incredible.
It's really good.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, you just saw it.
Yeah. I mean, you watched what just happened. It was utterly broken.
I played a Jackal-Pup, and when it connected on turn 2, I was able to generate an extra mana and an extra card.
Yeah.
When I first started playing Magic, I played literal Jackal-Pup.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I got my second PTQ top 8 with Jackal-Pup in my deck.
First PTQ I ever won, I was playing Savannah Lions X4 and Ismar Hound of Khanda X3 in my Boros like aggro deck or whatever. So seeing Ragavan for the first time.
Jank.
Yeah.
That was the deck's name.
Who was the original builder?
I don't know.
I don't know their name either. It was a Japanese player who
I thought it was a Japanese pro.
I want to say it was Ikeda. Whoever it was, he actually did something that was so bizarre to me at the time, but in hindsight was just the most genius thing ever. He sided in a 4-drop Fledgling Dragon in his, 20 land deck or whatever, and instead of like leaving the number of lands the same, he cut 2 lands. He boarded 4 drops and cut 2 lands because he could not win the game with flooding. And I forget which matchup. It was like against Psychotog or something. And he ended up losing to Olivier. But like the next game, he drew like 4 lands exactly and Fledgling Dragon, and it was awesome. And then the commentator just went nuts over it. So, all right, my hand's bad, but I'm keeping.
Why? This is like the worst. When you draw the shock land and fetch land combo that are the same,
Yeah.
and you can only get 3 mana.
No.
But I've got to keep it.
Okay, I'm gonna go 19. I'm gonna fetch with a Delta. I get Island. It's one thing. The fetches are like a little awkward here because it deals damage, but just being able to delve for Murktide Region is quite good. So we're gonna Serum. That's a nice draw. And then we'll keep the one of them on top. Put the other one on bottom.
So, I can find the Triome with this fetch land and have 4 colors of mana, but it's not a great 4 colors, to be honest. I think I would rather just go to 18 for Steam events and play Ragavan.
I'm going to tempo play this. I'm going to shoal pitch Thought Scour. Ragavan, I don't have a true answer for it just yet, so. Alright, we're going to play Delver and say go. We're going to try to use Delver plus Fetch Land to manipulate the top of our deck to make sure we draw a spell, or to help make sure we draw a spell. If it dies, it's fine.
Ragavan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go to 15 and get Breeding Pool and play Nikotl.
Sure. So 2 blue and no white and no black. There's not a lot of black cards on deck, but not having white here is actually not bad for me. I go?
I guess actually I don't need to get Breeding Pool. Let's get a.
We need green.
Yeah. Let's just get the Stomping Ground.
Green, red? Sure. All right.
And pass the turn.
Upkeep, trigger Delver. Let's take a peek. Top card is not a way to flip Delver, and it's not a land. Do I want to keep it? Yeah, we want to keep it.
Where's the Stomping?
All right, so
literally the bottom card. I'm just like.
We're going to want a blocker for Ragavan, and if he has a removal spell, I'm going to go ahead and just play Snapcaster and play Seer Visions. I'm going to be at 18.
So you're at 18, I'm at 15?
Yeah.
And Delver did not transform this turn?
Nope. I guess what I drew. All right, so we'll Seer him. We'll draw. Not the best draw. I actually just have to bottom both these, I think, which is kind of a bummer. Here you go.
Okay. I would just like to draw any fetch land.
No, thank you.
That is the opposite of what I wanted.
Third Draco, or... It's funny, if he doesn't have removal spells, my creatures actually match up pretty well against his Snap on Nikotl and Delver on Ragavan.
Attack for 2. Pass the turn.
Alright, trigger Delver. Go.
Goblin Guide.
Sure.
Attack, trigger, guide.
Take 2, minute 16.
Pass the turn.
Alright, reveal. Upkeep will transform. Now the question is, do I want to keep the Disrupting Shoal? And for Ross's deck, it's kind of just like a cancel. You know, I have enough mana where it's actually not that bad of a draw. We still need to kind of keep the Delver back to threaten the Ragavan. I might actually trade with a Goblin Guide here. I'm not sure yet.
Are you passing?
Yeah, let's go. Sorry. The Goblin Guy giving us a free look for our fetch line is also kind of nice. So we're a little heavy on mana right now, but we're able to use it, which is nice.
You got 3 cards in the hand, one of which is the Shoal.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait for him to play a 12-12. I don't think I have a spell big enough to pitch for the Disrupting Shoal on that one.
Yeah, attack with the guide.
All right, let's see what the top card is. Another Shoal. Okay. I'm going to take it. I'm at 14.
Pass the turn.
I'll draw it. Go.
End step, Bolt the Aberration.
Counter.
Attack the Goblin Guide. Trigger.
Block.
Tradesies. Play Wild Nikotl.
Go to 11. I'll show it.
I'll
Hard
stub.
test. Yep. That's tilt.
Just trying to use my mana here.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in bad shape.
Yeah. Pass the turn. So now I've got a life advantage, board advantage, and more cards in hand. So
Oh yeah, it's almost like you're owning. It's almost like I drew 6 lands. Okay. Whoop. That was a good draw, actually. Scour me. Snag Delver gone. Draw.
there's one card I don't want to see.
Yeah. Tough one. 14, 15?
I've got 11. You triple fetched.
Yeah, that's right. And you're 15?
Yep.
4 cards, huh? I'm very lucky that Ross has been bottlenecked on mana this game. Like my draw of just like so many lands has like really hurt me, but I've actually had a chance to like claw back in this game because of that. All right, I'm gonna Snapcaster Mage.
The problem is that like eventually I draw a land, right? So you got to turn the corner.
That's what. Yeah. I mean, I could have been attacking with the Delver of Seekers. I'm gonna scour myself. I'm really just looking for the thing that Ross is most afraid of, which is Regent.
Yeah. Murktide Regent would be
Go.
disgusting here.
Yep.
Well, that is fetch land.
I think what you mean is a GG.
I will go to 14. I am going to get the Savai Triome.
And that gives them black and white, which is
And I will play Scion of Draco.
okay. So this gives red creatures first strike, and
Green Trample, I assume.
Green trample.
Yeah.
All right. In response, I'm gonna thought scour myself.
Yep.
Tilt. All right. Oh.
Has the Vapor Snag.
All right.
I was going to attack anyway. I won't let the
All right. I'm
subtle
gonna
tell influence my
dismember
play.
this.
Oh, Dismember. Okay.
I'm at 7. I'll block here and go
Take
to
3.
4.
Go to 4.
Yep.
4 to 12, you're up. Or 4 to 14.
Go.
You have 1 card in hand?
Yep.
Should I just go for the kill or...
No 1.
Yeah.
Un.
I think this is better. And then I will play Scion.
Counterspell.
Yeah. I could have tried to dash Ragavan, but then if you counter it and draw Regent, I like there might be a weird sequence where I lose.
Yeah. All right. GG.
That's what I was worried about because I just had all 2s.
Yeah.
Curve is a little high. Maybe I probably need to add a land. I think I have 20. I think it's 21. No, it's
right.
Yeah, it's 21 because I have 7 chalk lands, Savai Triome, and Mountain, and 12 fetches.
Sure.
So I'm playing 21 lands, and I just like struggled to make the 3rd land drop a lot. Probably just a little variance.
It might be worth trying out like Mishra's Bauble to kind of be like a free way to manipulate with fetches and stuff, and also to like, maybe let you keep your land count at like 19 instead. I guess you only want to do that really if you maybe go to Lurrus and then like cut Scion of Draco or whatever, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, if Scion of Draco is your only permanent that's bigger than a 2, I don't feel like it's worth the sacrifice for playing the Triome, like having it, having to like skip a 1-drop so that you can fetch a Triome into a 2-drop 4/4. And like giving your creatures those abilities didn't really seem that good. Like giving Ragavan first strike was it was a little awkward there.
And
but
when I was praying for the fetch land early, it was the same thing. When we had the 2 creatures staring at each other, you had 1/1 Delver and 2/1 Snap, and I had Ragavan and Nikotl. If I'm able to go Scion, I can just attack with both very freely.
Sure. I just think that like there are 3-drops that exist in Magic that seem like they may be better than Scion for that deck. I don't know.
Yeah. But like I said, this also just dodges so much removal. Granted, that doesn't come up in this matchup. You still got snags and counter spells and petty thefts. And
sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing. It's like there's like ways to interact with it. It's a little like it's not a 2-drop, right? It's kind of like a 2.5 drop.
Yeah.
Like you have to do like a little bit of work to make it be a 2-drop.
It's your curve topper.
Yeah.
And I think there are going to be some games where you keep a hand that has a 1-drop on the draw, and your opponent takes it with an Inquisition, and then you're just like, oh, I guess I've got the Triome on turn 1 and play this on turn 2. which is a nice follow-up. That's something I was thinking about with this deck, where it gives you that kind of reply. We just didn't get to see a lot of Territorial Kavu and Scion of Draco in this matchup. It was really Ragavan of the new cards that's shown.
But Ragavan looked nice, man.
Oh, yeah.
So in Legacy specifically, I think Ragavan alongside Days in Wasteland is going to make it play almost exactly like a Deathrite Shaman, but you get to attack with it instead of just sitting back on it. And my big fear is that it's going to make combo just non-existent, because like Deathrite Shaman was pretty weak against combo decks because the extra mana wasn't really what you were fighting over in those matchups. But in the fair v fair matchups, getting to have that mana advantage, and later in the game you had this way to like recoup life or deal damage to your opponent, Deathrite Shaman was just broken. But it was bad against combo, and I think Ragavan is just broken against everything. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. And it's very good.
From my side, the Murktide Regents, they were, I mean, I drew it a couple times.
It looked great every time.
Yeah, there was one time where it was like obviously smaller than Scourge of the Skyclaves and I died, but there's another time where it was a 2-mana 8/8 or whatever, and I just wanted to draw it. Yeah. Every game I wanted to draw it.
And the fact that it flies means that sometimes it just races Scourge.
Right. I think the probably best build for Delver going forward, or at least the best build for Murktide Regent, is probably going to be Izzet based, I think. Lightning Bolt's just too good not to play as your primary removal spell. We were like using Vapor Snag and Dismember, and we had multiple spots where both of them were just kind of embarrassing, and I didn't really have much in the way of like getting around it. But that's just kind of like, this deck's a little weak to specifically Murktide Regent because I don't have Spell Snare, we don't have traditional removal spells and things like that.
I mean, Scourge of the Skyclaves.
Scourge of the Skyclaves, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I got 3-1, but we played 2 games off screen, and it was 3-3 overall. But I think this matchup's like actually a little bit closer than 3-1. But I still think that your deck is like pretty advantaged.
Yeah. The issue with Domain Zoo is that you just get punished a lot more these days from dealing yourself 6-9 damage than you did in 2009 when the deck was really a force in the extended metagame. And so that's going to be a problem. And I've seen some builds that play mana creatures on turn 1 and then look to fetch for Triumph turn 2 and have turn 2 Scion available that way, or have some 3-drops in their deck to curve into the Hierarchs. Maybe that's a better way of going. There's going to be a lot of balance in building this deck, but the power is there with the creatures. Like the Territorial Kavu is basically Tarmogoyf.
It's big.
Yeah, it's like Tarmogoyf scavenging you is like mushed together.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't get that like immediate ability to control the graveyard, but as far as like a 2-mana threat's concerned, it's gigantic. It's almost always at least a 4/4, and like by the time it's attacking on turn 3, it's a 5/5, and for 2 mana 5/5 with 2 abilities that pay you off when it starts attacking, like I can't really ask for a better 2-drop. Like I don't know that there is a better 2-drop.
Yeah, it really, it does ask, some of your deck building, but there's power there. I just think it's going to take a lot of tuning to figure out the exact right shell, and really impressive stuff from Murktide Regent.
Yeah.
But that is going to be it for round 1. We are going to take a short 5-minute break, and then be back with another match and some more Modern Horizons 2. Don't go anywhere. Hello and welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Todd Anderson.
And we've got Josh in booth. Say what's up, Josh.
What's up, Josh?
Josh will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us. Continuing our exploration of Modern Horizons 2 today. And I've got to say, of all the decks I'm playing today, this second one is the one I'm most excited about. I think the deck is really, really sweet. And just sort of compact and really put together. Like when I look at this list, I'm really happy with it.
Sure.
So excited to see how it plays out. I'm going to be starting with a Jund Goblins deck, and this one is particularly combo heavy. And we know about the conspicuous Snoop Bogart Harbinger combo. We know about Grumgully, Putrid Goblin, Skirk Prospector, but I have mashed them together. We've got both combos, and that's because Goblin Matron and now Imperial Recruiter actually find every single piece of either combo. Notably, Recruiter does not find Grumgully, but I have 1 copy of Metallic Mimic for it to find instead of a 4th Grumgully, which also works with Putrid Goblin to make sure that combo goes off.
Sounds like you went deep on this deck. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and the really important addition is also, in addition to Imperial Recruiter, is Ignoble Hierarch, because these Goblin decks often struggle to get off the ground, especially if they don't have Ether Vial in their draw, and Hierarch is a great way to do that.
So, in all the versions that I've ever played of Goblins, the thing that was always super important was turn 1 Ether Vial. Every other play in comparison, except Goblin Lackey in Legacy, but every other iteration that had Skirk Prospector or some other garbage 1-drop, Ether Vial was like far and away the best possible, right? Yeah. I think Ignoble Hierarch adds a second dimension to that, where I think it's like clearly a secondary to an Ether Vial, but such a high percentage better than the next modern 1-drop for Goblins that it's giving the deck a significant boost, because if you're playing humans in modern, like Ether Vial on turn 1 is broke, Noble Hierarch on turn 1 is great, and Champion of the Parish is good enough, but Goblins doesn't have a 1-drop that is comparative except for Skirk Prospector when you're comboing, but that's a different point in the game where the 1-drop doesn't really matter. It's just the type of
Knucklebone Witch isn't so good.
Right. So your deck looks sweet. My deck is very weird, and I want to try to explain this a little bit before we get going. So I decided to build around Mono Black Devotion with Magus of the Bridge. Now, if you look at Magus of the Bridge, it's like, it's obviously a bridge from below that like sits in play and has a 4/4 body attached to it. But the real draw is whenever one of your creatures gets killed by the opponent, you get a 2/2 zombie. So at the very least, it's a 3-mana 4/4 that when it dies, you get a 2/2. Now, the downside is that if you ever kill your opponent's creatures and they go to the graveyard, much like Bridge from Below, your Magus of the Moon is going to disappear. And that's a bit unfortunate, but the way that we are playing around that is with 2 cards of our own, both of which have a lot of black pips for Nykthos, Shrine of Nyx, and Grey Merchant of Asphodel. The first is we're main decking Leyline of the Void, and the second is Dothi, the new 2-drop, man, I hate that. Dothi Voidwalker. So Dothi Voidwalker, 2-mana 3/2 Shadow. He lets you do some really cool tricks with like Thoughtseize, where you get to like Thoughtseize your opponent's giant spell, activate, and you get to play it for free. The 2 of those cards don't play well together, Leyline of the Void and Dothi, but I think if you have a Leyline on turn 0 and Dothi on turn 2 or whatever, you just treat it like a 3/2 beater, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces in this deck. I don't know that this is like the best version of Mono Black Devotion, but it's certainly playing a ton of new cards, and we get to maybe see them in action and see how it goes.
Yeah, and if you've got those synergies going with Magus, you got a really powerful card there. There's plenty of pips to go around. So cool deck. One thing to note about mine is I did have a small oversight when I initially submitted the deck, and that's that I forgot to include the Sling Gang Lieutenant that you need to immediately win the game off of the Snoop Harbinger combo. So the one main deck Goblin Ringleader that you see in the graphic has been replaced by a Sling Gang, but Cardboard Live has been updated. So if you look at the Cardboard Live list, that will be accurate.
Yep, and if you want to go ahead and click on that little graphic on the screen, you should be able to just copy paste the deck list if you want to go try it out for yourself on Magic Online or buy cards from StarCGames.com. So I lost match 1, so I'm going to be on the play for match 2. Unfortunately, my hand is 1 land, so I don't think I can really keep.
I will keep my hand.
All right, well, Mulligan, we got any questions from chat?
Yes. Have either of you tried to brew a Shaman deck with Ignoble Hierarch and Harmonic Prodigy?
No.
Yeah. Harmonic Prodigy is kind of a weird one, man.
Which card is Harmonic Prodigy?
It's the 2-mana prowess wizard or whatever that like all your wizards and shamans trigger twice.
Okay.
So like you get double
I didn't
exalted.
realize that one also doubled shamans.
Yeah,
I misread it, I guess.
It's very weird. I don't get it.
When I think of a shaman tribal, I think of the Rage Forger deck that people played in Lorwyn Block.
Same.
So is that what we're trying to trigger, like Rage Forger a bunch of times?
Probably, yeah. That'd be my guess.
Like Collected Company, I assume.
I don't know.
The issue is Collected Company and a prowess creature don't go well together, but I guess you're playing it more for the ability than it having prowess, so that's fine.
It kind of does both, right?
Yeah.
It lets you double Forger or double prowess, and you just get to pick.
Yeah.
Is it a wizard or shaman? I don't think you can be a wizard shaman. So, but I know that it does both. Like it hits, buffs both.
I think it's a wizard.
I think it's a wizard too. All right.
But my guess is, like, what other reasonable shamans exist? That would be the sticking point to me is, do I have to put a bunch of horrible cards in my deck to make this work? I'm usually not a fan of doing that. Well, actually, I am, but it usually doesn't work out very well.
Sure. All right, I'm going to keep this one. We're going to put back. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of permanents in our opening hand, so I don't think Nykthos is going to do it for us. So we'll just keep our swamps so we can curve out. All right, you're good.
I will crack Arid Mesa and get a Stomping Ground and play Ignoble Hierarchy.
Okay. So just to kind of, actually, yeah, just to kind of slow Ross down, I'm going to go ahead and Fatal Push it. Just to,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah. All right, 2, we're going to play a Dauthi Voidwalker. Now we're going to see just how good this card can be. Now, this shuts down like various graveyard combos you could do, because if they would be exiled, or if they would go to the graveyard, they get exiled instead. So this is kind of like a 2-mana Leyline of the Void on a stick, which is kind of rad. That's one thing that like everyone sees all the cool combos with it, but they don't realize that it's just like a Leyline of the Void on a creature.
I'm going to go to 14 and get a Blood Crypt and play Putrid Goblin.
Putrid Goblin. Okay, so now if
I'll pass the turn.
I don't know how it works. Would your guy get exiled if it could block? I know it can't, but
Yes, it would. Replacement. Persist as a trigger. Voidwalker is a replacement.
okay. All right, I'm gonna go with a Thoughtseize, and we're gonna see if I get a real juicer with Dauthi Voidwalker here, baby.
That is not good.
All right, so I'm gonna be at 18.
So I'm at 14. You're at 18.
And this is the scary part of Dauthi if we hit a nice one. Okay. I don't think I have anything cool for Imperial Recruiter. Grim Goalie is whatever. He doesn't have mana. So I'm just going to take his Munitions Expert, I think, because it's something that can kill the Voidwalker next turn. Now, I don't think playing it's correct, though, because I would just deal 1. So since Ross is at 14 already, he's a little shy on mana. I'm just going to bang on him for a little bit, put him at 11.
I'm at 11.
This is unblockable, basically, so, and it can't block, so it's either play the card, which none of which would have been great.
Christ. I would
16.
like to make a 3rd land drop in a single game.
Sorry, man.
I definitely had a hand. Like the Putrid Goblin aspect of the deck is going to be a lot worse against Todd because of Voidwalker and Leyline.
Yep.
And I happened to draw my literal 1 answer to a creature in my opening hand, and got my 3rd land thoughts killed and my 1 removal spell Thoughtseize. This was a nightmare start for me from Todd.
Yeah. All right, so. Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's fine. All right, so I'm going to be at 14 from 2 fetches, and Ross is going to be at 8 from an attack.
Yep.
And then I'm going to play Big Boy Phyrexian Bladerator.
Yeah, that was about as
He big.
bad as possible.
He big.
Yeah. Dead.
He's dead. It doesn't matter.
I am at dead.
Yes, let me out of here. All right. Well, game 1 looking okay. We had a really good curve: 1-drop, 2-drop, interaction on 3, and 4-drop. So, not bad for a mole. All right. Well, we do have some time while we're shuffling here for game 2. If you got anything for us, if not, we'll just kind of spitball.
Could Magus of the... Is it Magus?
Magus of the Bridge?
Yeah, Magus of the Bridge be a good card in the sacrifice deck?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to shine in decks like that. I was just trying to use it in an alternate way with the pips for Mono Black Devotion. Ross actually posted a deck between us. He showed me a deck that had, was it Grist? Is that what had the Planeswalker's called? The Walking Tide?
It wasn't so much a sacrifice deck as just sort of it was a Golgari company deck with Geralf's Messenger and Magus of the Bridge. But mostly black creatures. Ignoble Hierarch still. I think Ignoble, Grist, and Company were the only green cards.
Sure.
But it was sort of like a play on the Golgari company decks that you see in Historic that are nearly mono green.
Yeah.
But this was just mono black, so you have some interaction and some resilient threats, and it was kind of cool to me. Not sure how good it is. Mm-hmm. But as far as putting Magus in a dedicated sacrifice deck, the issue I have there is that those decks are usually multicolored, and the triple black cost is really difficult.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of my sacrifice decks are playing Lurrus as a companion, and Lurrus is really good at that. Mm-hmm. And you give up Lurrus with Magus, so some issues there. But I'm sure you could try to build one where you're nearly mono black. Most of the things are black.
Well, I don't think you need to. I mean, I love Collect a Company with Grist, and I think if you're going to play Grist and Magus of the Bridge as your top end, it makes sense to play Collect Company. And when you're playing
Yeah.
green, that just gives you a lot more creatures that are potentially good to sacrifice, throw into the bus, or generate like those extra little mini combos and stuff. So I think you're on the money. I think like maybe
that
some of
deck has
the
some sweet curves. You
Right.
go like turn 1 Ignoble Hierarch, turn 2 Drawl's Messenger, turn 3 Collected Company, hit Grist and Magus, -2 my sacrifice my messenger, get a zombie, kill your creature or planeswalker, undying my messenger. You're at 13 now, and I have 10 power and a Grist on the battlefield.
It's not bad. Not bad. All right, let's get here for game number 2. Ross is going to be on the play. Let's see how it
That's a
goes.
pretty ideal curve, but
Yeah,
a pretty nice one. See if this one can go a little bit better. I will keep this hand, even though it's a little awkward.
I'll keep mine too. See how this one is.
I will name Goblin of this cavern and play a Vial.
That's pretty good.
Pass the turn.
Here you go.
Upkeep. Vial on 1.
Mm-hmm.
Play a Vial.
Yeah.
Pass the turn.
Oh, you still don't hit your third land drop.
Nope. That is not for me today.
Okay. Drop. That was kind of cool. All right, I'm going to go to 18. I'm going to play a Voidwalker and hope that he doesn't have a lot of stuff.
On your end step, I'll activate Vial and put in Hierarch.
Yeah, that's bad.
Upkeep 2 and 1.
Actually, hold on. Can I, with this, I mean, first, sorry, I need to get 2 swamps on my deck. I have a Grief. I want to play a Grief, and I want to exile something because for some reason I thought you had to do it immediately with the Dalthy Voidwalker, but you, in response to the Grief, you're more than welcome to play.
Yeah, definitely going to put in the Hierarch.
I just want to make sure I don't get absolutely dumpstered next turn.
I've got a pretty good hand against a discard spell.
Try not to look before I decide on what to do. All right, we're going to pitch a Great Merchant to grief you.
Okay, I've got 2 Tutors, Putrid Goblin, and Murderous Redcap.
Okay, so the Redcap's a little ways away. But the Redcap does kill the Voidwalker, and playing the Redcap off the Voidwalker sounds rad. So, yeah, we'll take Redcap.
Okay. Need to draw a land here. Land would be very good.
Why? Oh, I'm stupid. I'm really dumb. I should probably take a
That is
Recruiter.
the opposite of a land. Attack for 1.
Yep. 17.
Yep.
You're still at 20.
Yep. Pass the turn.
So now he can play Putrid Goblin. I can use Voidwalker to Redcap the Noble, or the Ignoble. I can't stop the Vials, though. And I can't stop both of his tutors, so he's going to start a chain next turn no matter what I do. So the question now is, do I just want to constrict his mana a little bit with the Redcap versus the Voidwalker? And I don't think so. I kind of just want to bang on him. Okay, actually, we figured it out. Hold on. All right. Grief, pitching, Dalthy Voidwalker, trigger on the stack. I'm going to float 4 mana.
Activate Vial.
Yep.
Put in Putrid Goblin.
Yep.
Show you the horrible card I drew.
Okay. We will take your Kiki Jiki, and then I'm going to kick Dread Cantor at you. You want to throw up now, or? Okay, so for those of you unaware of what just happened, can we get Torag Dread Cantor on the screen if you haven't already? So, Torag Dread Cantor has a kicker cost. Hold on, let me make sure. So it's protection from white. Whenever your opponent discards a card, he gets a +1/+1 counter. And when it enters the battlefield, it was kicked. Your opponent discards 2 at random. So with Grief, having 2 pips, I was able to make 4 mana off the Voidwalker. All these cards are exiled, so I can do this with them if I want to. I think I'm going to, I don't know, make a Kiki Jiki? Kiki Jiki sounds cool. Maybe not yet. But I got his whole hand. What a gross. All right, I don't think these are that good for me. But maybe just, all right, we're just going to go Redcap, I think, and pop this thing. Go.
1 card in hand.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal. Grief Nick, that's cool. That's what I got.
Yep. Activate.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Pass
You don't
turn.
have to play with the revealed?
Oh, it is real. Sorry.
It's fine. Alright, play Swamp, attack for 4.
16.
Alright, go. Draw step. One weird thing about Red Cap is that if it dies, it comes back into play under Ross's control, so I need to be careful with that. But I did not mind killing his Ignoble Hierarch with it. I think constricting that is good, because now he has a tough choice between taking one of the vials up to 4 or leaving one at 2, but he has a land on top, so he should probably just take it up to 4, if I had to guess.
Well, I don't have a lot of 4s. That's the thing.
Oh, sure.
I think I'll just leave them where they are.
Okay.
Draw.
All right. After you draw, Spirit Prospector. Okay,
Just
so I'm
have
going to go
a
ahead and kill
rule
this. Yeah. Well, I've had the push for a while. I just didn't have a curve for it. All right.
Go.
All right. Draw. Attack.
12.
I'm going to go ahead and fetch down to 16, so go. Just go ahead and get a land out of my deck.
Play Prospector.
Yep.
You're up.
So we are dead to a lot of stuff now because he has a sack outlet and the persist.
I don't have it. I just makes infinite
We're not
mana
dead.
if I draw.
Yeah, sure.
Which I don't. I literally need to run a runner.
Right.
And have you brick.
Yeah, but you're not under that much pressure.
I'm on a 3-turn clock. I have 2 draws.
Attack.
I need to run a runner in my 2 draw steps.
Irritate.
Yeah.
Good. But like every creature you draw is like fodder or whatever. So
I want to leave the fetch land cracked in case I draw Snoop.
I like that. It's like the. I mean, this is how the discard decks attack the Ether Vial decks. You just have to take away their like little card advantage things. Like I had a nutty 3-man. I don't know what to tell you. Like I ripped apart your hand like completely on 3. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think I should have kept the Dothi around though. I think using the red cap. The red cap, I think, in hindsight, drawing a bunch of lands obviously changed things, but.
You can go. I'm at 4.
Have you? Yeah, 4. Sorry, you didn't fetch. You unfetched. Go. 16 and 4. Just so you know, this is exactly how Ross plays poker. He just gets very upset, and you just know he has nothing. Like whenever he has nothing.
No, I'm dead. They're both 5 drops in my deck.
Well, you have 2 chump blocks.
I don't think that thing flied.
No, it's protection from ride.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a ground guy.
I don't know why I thought that thing
I
flied.
don't know.
It's like oh, it's a human cleric. For some reason, I thought that was a vampire that flew.
No.
Okay, let's play Coward and Goblin
okay.
again, and sack
You're
here,
3.
and sack the Putrid Goblin twice, and play the Kiki Jiki,
Okay.
and then pass the turn.
Yeah, so now you have chump blocker every turn. We need to draw something good here, but I've drawn 5 lanes in a row or something, so I'm gonna go to 15. So go.
On your end step, I will make a Skirk Prospector copy.
Yep.
Just give myself an extra mana to work with here. So that'll stick around until my end step now.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait to draw a Leyline of the Void. I guess I should have attacked because you just don't get the mana. That was a mistake.
Sack the Prospector token for a red. Play Sling Gang Lieutenant.
Good night, Mr. Complain-a-bot over here.
I thought that thing flew! That's my bad.
RTFC.
Pass the turn.
All right, Gray Merchant, one-time dealer. That was actually not a bad one.
Does Gray Merchant even kill me?
I don't know. Liliana.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I can minus, try to hit a Gray Merchant, Nykthos, cast it, and drain for...
I think you got to start by just plussing on Sling Gang.
I know, I'm just talking through my stuff. Relax, Amindar. Like, I'm 100% targeting Sling Gang.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think if there's a chance that I die if I don't go for whatever. All right, target Sling Gang, whatever.
In response, I will make a copy of it,
You
get 2
get 2
more
tokens.
goblins. I will then sacrifice the original to drain you for 1. So 15 to 4.
I was already at 15 from a fetch, so I should be at 14 to 4. Okay.
And then, do I want to sack any additional goblins just to,
Drain?
drain?
I don't think
I'm
so.
going to die to Gray Merchant anyway. I probably want to be able to take 1 hit from an Obliterator. So maybe I want to sack 1 and just get to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to sack 1 Goblin token and then the Sling Gang itself.
All right.
So you go to 12.
12-6.
Go to 6.
And there's no reason for me to attack because he was just
Yeah.
going to sack the... Yeah, so here you go. And I want to keep my Liliana alive. I guess you can make an argument not to so that you can try to attack Liliana down. Because right now it doesn't die.
Oh, true. Yeah, I probably should have considered that. But was I going to be able to do that? I was going to have 5. I guess, yeah, I was... Okay.
No, you were 1 short.
No, because if I keep this around...
Well, then
just,
you have to lose your Kiki Jiki if you want to kill the Lily.
No, I just make a copy of something. I have to lose Prospector.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I should try to kill Liliana. So let's imagine I didn't...
All right, you're at 5, not 6, and
you're
I'm at 13.
Yeah, 13 to 5.
Yep.
And I will violin a Putrid Goblin and
Make a copy of it.
make a copy of Putrid Goblin.
Yep. The token won't come back, so it's fine.
And I guess I got to lose the Prospector, but I'm going to lose Prospector to Liliana anyway, so...
Prospector and token, Lily's dead. No, nothing I can do about it.
Yep.
But I'll block so that none of my stuff dies.
Yeah, so Prospector and an actual token, and then this will get sacrificed in end step, and then I'll pass the turn.
Okay, so now he doesn't have anything that good for Kiki, but we're in a spot where we just need to draw anything, man. Whatever.
I just want to draw a Matron or an Imperial Recruiter so badly.
You drew 2 already.
Yeah.
I just want to draw not. I want to draw not 9 lands. You know, like.
Play a Bloodseed Mire.
I had I had an insane turn 3, and I just have
turn.
drawn 6 lands or whatever since then. So 7 lands. Your go.
On your end step, make a Putrid Goblin.
Sure.
I think I can. Yeah, let's make another Putrid Goblin and get in with both of them.
All right, block 1, take 2.
Take
I'm at
2.
11.
So every 2 turns, I can deal 2 damage.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Cool.
You thinking?
I'm thinking about attacking. Go. Go.
On your end step, make a Putrid Goblin.
Yep.
That's interesting. Play an Ignoble Hierarch and attack with the token for 3.
All right, I'm at 8.
Pass the turn.
Whatever. Go.
On your end step, make a Putrid Goblin. This is just comical. You're 8? Yeah, attack for 3.
5.
Pass the turn.
All right, whatever. I quit.
Yeah, you're dead now. I've got Mimic, make Putrid Goblin.
Yeah. God, that was so gross, man. What the hell? All right, we're gonna take a short break here while we get sideboards put together for game number 3. I don't know, man. That was frustrating. I'm gonna try to shake that one off, but get your questions in here. Ask RC Games in the chat, and we'll try to answer the better ones. Probably gonna take 2, but we'll be back in a few minutes.
Welcome back to Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Jund Goblins and Mono Black Devotion. On my side of things, essentially what happens when you're sideboarding with this deck is you have to pick one combo to focus on in the post-sideboard game if you're going to bring in a lot of cards. And in this matchup, it's very obvious that I want to focus on Snoop Harbinger because Leyline of the Void and Dothy Voidwalker both break up the Persist combo. So I'm going to prepare for Todd to have a lot of removal post-sideboard. We're going to bring in all the Goblin Ringleaders. I'm going to bring in my trophies just because they do answer Leyline and Voidwalker in case I need to go for that combo. And then one Tarfire as the most efficient card for me to tutor for with Matron that answers Plague Engineer. So we got 6 cards to come in, so we're going to cut way down on the Persist combo, down to 1 Putrid Goblin, 1 Prospector, and then 2 Grumgully and 1 Metallic Mimic, which is essentially leaving in 1 extra Grumgully beyond the bare minimum to make the full combo work, because you need Mimic to tutor for with Imperial Recruiter. I'm leaving in the extra Grumgully as the 1 extra card because it's the best card against Plague Engineer among all of them.
Because it just cancels it out, basically.
Yeah, if you get it down early enough. So we'll leave that in. It's the best one to just draw naturally. Otherwise, we're down pretty far on that combo. We're going to focus on just snooping.
So for me, I'm doing some big haymakers out of the sideboard. Plague Engineer, obviously good against tribal decks. Damnation, if I get too far behind, we can just kind of reset. And I don't really mind if I kill one of my own creatures. Not a huge deal. We have a few, but not a ton. And then Liliana, the Last Hope, I think is very, very good in the early game. It struggles a little bit against Ether Vial because it allows Ross to kind of play this instant speed game where I'm trying to play sorcery speed game. Grief is significantly better in matchups like this when you have ephemerate or reanimation spells, things to continually bring this back. We do have the Nykthos trick with it, which we did in game number 2, but it is minus card advantage, and it's pretty rough sometimes on your hand resource wise. So we're just gonna make this swap and hope that our powerful sideboard cards can kind of carry us. But I think we were very heavily favored to win game 2, but we just drew 7 or 8 lands and 2 Thoughtseizes, and just it happens when you play a deck like this. You just have a lot of bad top decks.
Really just needed one more draw there to put over the top. And
well, I probably need some more mana sink type things. This version isn't playing Fire Action Arena, for example, and we don't have those little mini bursts of card advantage and things like that when we're trying to trade resources. So it's possible that I could have played differently too, just kept the Dothy around instead of using the red cap to kill your creature, because I was basically just bottlenecked after that point where the Dothy was unblockable and could have just really pressured your life total.
I think you win the game if you don't red cap. I was pretty happy when you got rid of it. Are you playing any copies of Castle Lockwind?
No, I probably should be. That's just an oversight on my end. None of the devotion lists that I was looking at had them, and I kind of just blanked on it. So that's just my fault.
Seems particularly good with Grief when you're emptying your hand pretty quickly.
Agree. Definitely an oversight. Definitely should have at least 2 in here, probably. Silent Clearing is one that was just kind of there. It should definitely be in there over Silent Clearing. So, all right, let's take a few questions from chat before we get here for Game 3.
Yep, they want to know, what is the best way to shake off a loss like you had in the last round when you're at an event?
You never fully get over it if you care about winning. If you care about winning the tournament, you're never going to shake off a loss perfectly. One thing that Brad Nelson always kind of hammered home to me, because we were good friends for a long time, traveled all the time for everything, and he is coming back to Roanoke soon too, I heard. Just play one match at a time, or one game at a time even. Just shake off the losses, especially if you make a mistake. When you make a mistake that costs you the game, you can always kind of look back on the decisions you made that led to the game loss. And in those scenarios, all you can do is use that knowledge to make sure you don't make that mistake again. When you lose because of variance or flooding or whatever, if it's very obvious that there was, if you die on turn 1 and you don't have a Force of Will and Legacy or whatever, it's not like you can change that. You can't do anything about it. You're just dead, and the card just didn't come your way. And sometimes in Magic that happens too. But I think it's important to be critical of your own decision making. Make sure that each game you kind of keep compact. Try not to let your emotions flow over, and honestly just try to remember that you're just playing a game. You're just trying to have fun.
For me, I think it's important to remember that there's There's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question. It's a very personal thing. So you've got to know yourself and be honest with yourself and figure out what works for you. And I even hesitate to say that because I'm not even sure there's a single thing that that really works for me. I think it's mainly come with experience. The first time I made a key mistake in a big match and lost, it felt really bad.
Yeah, you want to throw
and the
up.
second time, it still felt pretty bad. Now, I've done it enough times that I just kind of accepted that Magic is hard. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna lose games because of those mistakes, and it's happened enough that at a certain point you kind of move past it because you either move past it or you stop playing Magic. Because it's a reality of the game, and that's sort of the two roads that you're forced to go down. So a lot of it is experience, and a lot of it is just really sitting down with yourself and being honest about it. I think that with inexperienced players, you often see them, try to look for a panacea cure-all that will solve the problem and let them move forward, and they'll try something and then they'll blame that thing when it didn't work, and it just gives them the outlet to blame something other than themselves.
Yeah, I've also tried to be a lot less critical of people who blame outside factors on something that they had some control over, because half the time people are just venting or it's catharsis, but at the same time, if your ultimate goal is to just be better at Magic or get better at a game, always be critical of your own decisions. Try your best not to blame variance. And that game, I was pissed off because I drew a bunch of lands, but the overarching theme should have been I should not have sacked the Dothy Voidmaker. That was my fault, and I think I would have won the game if I didn't do that.
Yeah. So. But ultimately, it's also both things. You made a mistake that took you from 100% to win to 95% to win. And
right, but I was 100% to win with how it went out, but I wasn't 100% to win the other way. I was. But
sure.
It's fine. All right, let's get one more.
Any thoughts on Abundant Harvest in traditional Jund?
Not traditional. I think if you try a lower to the ground Dreadhorde Arcanist version, it could be extremely good.
Yeah, I think we gotta reimagine what Jund is. I don't think Bloodbird Elf and Liliana of the Veil are particularly powerful cards in Modern in 2021.
I will argue that Liliana of the Veil being bad is incorrect, but it's just counteractive to Lurrus, and Lurrus is better.
Yeah. I won't say Liliana is bad, but it's not nearly what it used to be.
If they ban Lurrus, Liliana will be a 4 in every Jund deck.
Sure, but Jund won't be good.
But a style of Jund, you say Jund like it's traditional. I'm talking about all Jund archetypes. The deck that I'm playing next is a Jund Lurrus deck that has a bunch of Delirium elements, and I think that style of deck would thrive from being able to play Liliana of the Veil. If Lurrus didn't exist, it would play 4, and I can tell you that because I built it, and I would want to play 4, but we can't because we want to play Lurrus. It's easy. So it's just at odds. They're at odds with each other, and Lurrus is better because in deck building, it's free.
Yeah, Lurrus is a messed up Magic card.
All right, so opening for game number 3. This hand sucks. I'm going to mulligan.
Okay. My hand doesn't suck, and I'm going to keep.
All right, we got an auxiliary question. All right, well, pick the funniest thing someone said in chat and tell it to us.
Well, there's a knock-knock joke here.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, no, everyone's convinced that Ross is wearing a mask so he can stick his tongue out at chat without them seeing.
Ah, classic.
You figured me out, Chad.
Yeah. I just assumed it was because he had eggs in his beard from Waffle House and he didn't want anybody to see. He's just licking his lips under there because he's got
I have noticed a lot of Todd hype and Waffle House.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, the flavor saver for a reason, Todd.
Yeah. But because you're wearing the mask, you just get to do it on camera and no one can tell. You're just everyone just thinks you're just moving your jaw because you're pissed off. Okay, well, can I just ever draw some lands? Would be cool. Oh, hey, lands. Yeah, all you gotta do is complain and you win.
Yeah, welcome to Magic.
Yeah. All right, we'll put that on bottom. Run 6, so that's fine. All right, we'll lead with Leyline. Go.
I've got Cavern on Goblin, Hierarch.
Okay. Go.
Arid Mesa, fetch for basic mountain, Grum Gully.
Okay, I'm gonna fetch and push the Grum Gully.
Jerk.
Dude, you're gonna be way, way mad next turn, so don't worry about it.
What are you doing with
You're about to get absolutely clapped.
It's 19 all.
19 all.
You're on 3 mana.
Your stuff's exiled, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay, untap.
Yep.
Draw. I don't think giving him black mana matters too much, so I'm going to play Urborg. I'm going to Lily Last Hope this.
Yeah, that's bad for me, but it could be worse.
Here we go.
I will play Grumgully.
Yep.
That's
And of course, Ross able to do that because of the Urborg
Yep.
play off the Arid Mason.
Cavern makes green, Mountain makes red, Arid Mason makes black, as you do. I made a 3rd land drop.
Yep.
Everything's coming up Millhouse. Yeah, except for the Liliana, the Last Hope that I can never beat in a million years.
Yep.
Please don't have another push.
I don't. I wish I did.
Yeah.
Whatever. Goblin. Now, I know Plague Engineer's not a new card, but it's very hard to find right now. So, and then we'll tick up on this. So this has 0 power, but everything that he plays they get a +1/+1 counter, and if the Plague Engineer ever leaves play, then I'm in trouble. So here's some dice. But the Leyline shuts down the Grumgully combo, so now it's just about Grumgully generating extra value.
Well, I guess I will play a Boggart Harbinger
Okay.
and find Tarfire to the top of my deck
Yep.
and pass the turn.
That's a little awkward, but we can handle it. That was a good draw. All right, we're going to kill this. It's going to get exiled.
Yep.
And then, so this is 2, 4, 5. We'll MU.
With a 1 floating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good curve.
I agree.
Just roll a d6.
Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Reroll 5, 6.
No.
Shut up.
3.
3.
So 3 is this. There's 6.
Whatever. I'll trust you.
There's 6
You're
combinations.
the math guy. I don't care.
There's 6
Don't explain
pairs
to
in a
me.
4-card
I don't
set.
want to know. Your go. I know that there's, I don't care. You got it, buddy. You just tell me what is this card. I trust you.
So how can I possibly win this game? Because Liliana just rebuys Plague Engineer.
Boom.
The other creature was I was hoping that I would be able to set up some attacks on the Liliana and then find another answer to the Plague Engineer, but instead I can't do any of that.
Yeah, but you can kind of just slow roll. Like, the Plague Engineer is not death yet, Like, you have the Grumgully countering it, and I don't have an answer for it just yet.
Yeah, well, the problem is the combination of Grumgully and Liliana means that my 1 toughness creatures all still die.
Sure.
Which is the other 2 cards in my hand, because I've drawn, most of my creatures have 1 toughness,
Right.
And you got a 4/3. So I'm being attacked from basically every angle.
Dude, Torok seems dope. Now I just want to play Torok in, like, a Sultai deck or something. Although, Shardless Agent probably doesn't work. Maybe, do I have... I think I was going to put a couple of Toroks in my Jund deck, but we ended up playing Kroxa instead. But I don't know, man. Torok seems dope. Clock. All right, chat, hum along.
I also probably shouldn't have fetched for the mountain, because now I can't cast Assassin's Trophy. That's the other thing I'm thinking about, is sad-faced for me.
So you're not really thinking about it, you're lamenting.
To be more specific, yes.
Also have Urborg in play, you dummy.
Oh, sure. It's okay. But
if you have trophy do you not have trophy in hand? You're just talking about the potential of drawing it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were, like, mad because you couldn't cast it. I'm like, what are you talking about? We've had Urborg in play forever.
You actually played Urborg after I fetched for the mountain, so I
Sure,
still think it was a mistake, but
That's fair.
I didn't get punished because of the Urborg. So I can get a stomping ground to the Arid Mesa if I need to. Okay, so if I know that that is the case, that I have trophy available, I think I've just got to hope to rip it. I think I just pass the turn
Okay.
and turn this into a stomping ground.
Okay. Draw. All right. So I'm clearing. Go ahead and crack it and draw a card.
Yep. Make 6.
Bonk.
Thought I was getting like Gray Merchanted or something.
Guess I could shrink the Grumgully and attack with both. Probably do that.
So the fetch brings me to 18.
All right. Attack. So he's probably going to pop Plague Engineer here.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Terrifier down. I'm going to take 4, go to 14.
Okay.
And I've got a 1 power Gully.
Go. Yes. I could have, I guess, gone for the ultimate. That's stupid. I have myself a 19, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was a good draw.
Come on. Bring it on.
Good enough. So I'll play Ignoble Hierarch.
Okay.
And now I got to figure out what I want to do with this Munitions Expert. I could kill the Turok and at least stop that pressure, and then attack Liliana to 5. Then you would minus Liliana to 3, and to get back the Plague Engineer, and I might be able to do something.
Just kill the Turok, man. It's like 1,000% right.
Yeah, I mean, I could also just kill the Liliana, and then you'd be
You can't kill the Liliana.
Well, I would set up that Liliana would have to 2, so you'd have to have it die to get back the Plague Engineer, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But then you just like hold back and play defense, and you might have a removal spell. So I think it's right to kill the Turok.
Okay.
And then attack this for 2.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
Okay. What cards in hand?
1.
All right. -2.
There we go.
All right. So I can snag his last card with the Torok. Kind of love that, actually.
Your Turok will be a 3/2 then, because I'm only discarding 1 card.
Oh, that's a good point. But Plague Engineer just doesn't do that much right this moment, so. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get back to Torok, and I'll kick it.
Yeah. I had a Harbinger.
Alright, your go.
So now I can attack Liliana for 4.
I'm gonna fetch push it.
That was a good draw.
Yeah, I'm at 18. I was hoping you'd attack with some other stuff to try to actually kill the Liliana through the attack, and I could eat the Ignoble Hierarch, and then Lily takes 2, but...
Let's play Imperial Recruiter.
Okay.
What am I going to get?
Ringleader, probably?
That is my thought. I don't have... Then if you... If you get back and just play Plague Engineer... Ooh, I could also get Murderous Redcap.
That'll be a 1/1.
But that, well, it would still... I guess it won't kill the Plague Engineer, but it'd kill the Liliana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm worried about them both, obviously. Yeah, let's just get a Ringleader.
Okay, drop.
I just need a lot of more resources in this game.
Yeah. Alright. Mill 2. 2 Thoughtseize off the top. That's super good. Alright. I'm gonna
Make
6,
7.
7, and play
Yeah.
the ley line.
Yeah, you don't need to tap this.
Whatever. Alright. I'm gonna fetch down to 17, just so go.
It's a lot of ley lines.
Yeah. It's not doing as good as I thought it would, and with stopping you from doing much. I haven't drawn Magus either, so it's like been relatively dead. I think you have so many sacrifice things though that if I took out one, I'd probably need to take out the other. Leyline and Magus. Not really.
Monty Saw will reveal the Ringleader. play it.
Yep.
Ugh.
One. That's so gross.
So now, well, the thing is, like Liliana just kills the ringleader unless I.
You just swing. Just attack with everything and kill Lily. Or attack with 3 things.
These go on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to attack with 3 things, but not ringleader. So you're gonna block the noble hierarch for or the noble.
Oh, they're
doesn't
only
have power.
1/1s. You have
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
Okay,
and
never mind.
the noble's 0.
Okay.
So in order to kill, yeah, I can't set up ringleader here. But I'm gonna have 1 of these next turn. So send all 3 at Lily. You get to eat 2 of them. Which one do you want me to be using with Kiki Jiki?
I don't know. So this is gonna die regardless.
Yeah.
Let me think about this. So the munitions expert, I think, is the one I have to block. So let's just get that one out of here. And then ringleader versus recruiter. I think they're both disgusting. I think I block recruiter because I can draw a second plague engineer and then goblin, and then nothing does anything. So that's fine. Okay.
Second plague engineer would just
I
end the game on the
draw
spot.
anything, kind of. All right, whatever. This many.
5. I'll go to 9.
Go. Too many bad draws.
Cavern Goblin.
Yeah.
Play Kiki Jiki.
Yeah.
Attack for 1.
Okay.
Actually, I should just attack for 2 because I'm not gonna
That's fine. All right, I'm at 15.
pass the turn. On your upkeep, I'm gonna make the ringleader token, so you can't break it up with a removal spell.
That's fine.
There's the other assassin's trophy.
All right, Magus of the Bridge.
It's whenever
Whenever non-token creatures.
Oh, but you have Leyline, so yeah.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of-
Leyline makes my Magus good.
Yeah.
But if any of my creatures die, I get a zombie.
Are you attacking at all?
I'm thinking.
And this is 0 power, so
You know, and that's just a 1/1. So I think I
It's like
attack with both.
yeah, it's an easy attack. I'm just soaking up 3 damage, blocking the Turok. Take 2 to 7.
Okay, go.
That will do it. So I have to copy Noble Hierarch,
Okay.
then tap the 2 nobles, and play Goblin Matron.
Okay.
Oh, no, because it's only a 1 power thing. Damn. Hold on. I thought the red cap is the only creature in my deck that kills anything, but red cap does not kill the Plague Engineer.
Correct. And you already went through the Tar Fire, so.
Yeah, already went through Tarfire and the Munitions Expert. Both trophies are on the bottom of my deck. Can't tutor for those either. And I also have lost both Grum Gullies.
Mm-hmm.
Does Murderous Redcap have a type other than Goblin?
I don't know.
I know the bottom.
What does that matter?
I could get. I guess I don't have Imperial Recruiter. I was going to get Metallic Mimic and name whatever other type it has. But I
Yeah.
can't tutor for Metallic Mimic, so that doesn't matter. So, what am I matroning for?
Why don't you just cast it and then go look?
That's what I'll do.
Okay.
So I want to shuffle my deck anyway and get these trophies near the top.
Can't you do Snoop tricks with Harbinger?
Um,
Could you go get Snoop, play Snoop, and then next turn do Harbinger kill? Somehow?
no, because I have both Kiki Jikis out of my deck.
Okay, cool. All right, so we might have a shot to win. Actually, it was like, oh well.
Yeah, it's a goblin. I thought I had another type. It's a Goblin Assassin.
But I don't understand what having another type matters for.
So I can get Metallic Mimic, play Mimic on Assassin.
I see.
If
Okay.
I could find Metallic Mimic, but I didn't draw Imperial Recruiter.
Got it.
So, how do I still think Snoop is probably the best creature to get. I could get just Putrid Goblin, because then if I get Metallic Mimic...
I have this.
Oh, yeah, that stops that. Yeah, so I think it's just Snoop.
Okay.
So let's do that and play a Snoop.
Okay. I go.
My top card will be... Well, if I've got a... Guess the 1-drop would just die anyway. Yeah, pass the turn.
Draw.
On your upkeep, I'll ringleader.
Okay. Noble and a what?
2 nobles and a sling gang, but they don't really do anything. He gets plague engineer.
Okay. I'm gonna.
That.
No, if you name goblin, it dies, right? Doesn't it
Yeah, but
become it?
I can name assassin. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you still
becomes
can,
it.
but you still can't tutor for the.
Yeah, but we're closer.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer.
Oh no, you're gonna win. That's fine.
Why?
Because you're gonna play mimic on assassin, then you're gonna play Bogger Harbinger, and then go get red cap, and then the turn after, and then you can
Yeah.
on ringleader red cap.
But I'm also
kill
at
this.
7.
Yeah, but I can't attack. I can't do anything.
Why can't you attack?
Okay, well, let's do this. Fine.
Yeah, you can attack with plague engineer, but I'll block Magus and go to 4.
Right, and then you just get to do whatever you want now. Go. So you draw the mimic, you play mimic, name assassin. Oh, and you have that next turn too. You also just have like a million blockers forever, so like I can't attack through your things to kill you. So I needed to draw a Grey Merchant. I guess I can still draw a Grey Merchant if you don't kill me this turn, but
Well, I'm not killing you this turn. I'm just wondering if it's faster for me to play out these creatures. No, because it doesn't. I'd rather have this on Goblin later. So I guess I will pass the turn.
what are you doing? Why not just cast the mimic and the harbinger and go get red cap? Put red cap on top.
Because I'd rather just trophy it next turn. What does that do? The Harbinger is going to die, and then I'm going to have a Mimic on Assassin for some
Okay.
reason.
All right, I'm gonna go to 14. Do. All right. I have 4 copies of Grey Merchant of Asphodel. I was told by Kilogerm not to play this many, but I told him because I was playing main deck Leyline, I wanted to do cool Nykthos stuff. So I'm gonna let you cut to your demise. You ready? That way, no one can blame me when you die to this Grey Merchant. Okay, tilt.
Okay.
All right, whatever. Attack.
A copy Snoop, because I don't want to use Ringleader.
Yep.
I will block the Magus, go to 1.
Here we go.
Draw Trophy. Trophy Plague Engineer.
It's dead.
Then, I think I just want to play Sling Gang and get a bunch of blockers and some life.
Yeah.
Still can't beat a Grey Merchant, obviously, because you have so much, you have 13 devotion, but let's just play Grey Merchant, or play Sling Gang.
Yep.
Hope to dodge Grey Merchant, probably just for a turn.
All right, cut me to it, please.
There you go.
Two, four,
13.
6, 7, 8. 24. You win.
I mean, are you dead?
I assume so. You're going to be able to gain an ass load of life, and we need to go to the next match, so same.
I mean, on your end step, I make 3 more goblins. I untap, I make 3 more goblins. This is 9, 30. Yeah, I can go up to 13.
I'm dead to Sling Gang. I'm almost positive.
Oh,
If
you're
it's-
100% dead.
Okay, so I was right.
Yep.
All right. Well, some unfortunate draws at the end of 2 games
Yeah.
where I thought that I was pretty decently ahead. Goblins does that very well, though, of grinding through traditional interaction, and our deck is kind of playing this weird game where we're trying to interact a little bit, but we're also trying to like make Magus of the Bridge work with the Devotion package. I don't know. I think that this mono black deck is, I wouldn't say it's a complete failure. I think there was a little bit of unfortunate like land draws or whatever.
I wouldn't say it was a failure at all. I think you just got unlucky at the end of games and drew really poorly to lose from
Right,
a huge.
but-
like your deck put you in a really good position.
So it put me in good position early, but my top decks are horrible. My top decks are like Thoughtseize and Leyline of the Void and Too Many Lands
So
and
we've already figured out that Castle Lochthwain is a very easy addition to help mitigate that problem.
yeah, I mean
You know,
maybe it's just 4 Castle Lochthwain. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, like you could play three or four of that, and that would go a long way.
I
Right?
agree,
You just
I agree.
a single Castle Lochthwain there, and the game is wildly over.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? So one small adjustment and that problem gets mitigated. But you did some really busted things.
No, for sure.
turns you had with-
I'm not trying to be like mopey or whatever. I'm just saying, like, okay, first of all, the main deck ley lines, like, they're going to have a lot of value against some decks that are disgusting in the format. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to try it with this archetype, was that I thought being able to main deck ley line would make Nykthos good and make Great Merchant of Asphodel better. But like, I just found myself pretty regularly, like, just petering out. But like you said, if all it takes is a single Castle Lochthwain, then maybe you're right. Maybe that's just the direction to go.
You also literally never drew a Grey Merchant in any game when it was going to end the game immediately.
Yeah, and I did move up to 4.
Yeah.
But if the big thing is just
Phyrexian Obliterator.
cards that maintain velocity. Yes, not drawing Obliterator. We drew it in game 1, and it just very easily won the game because your deck just deals a lot of damage or can't really attack through it and whatnot. Yeah, I don't want to say that this deck is a failure, but from my perspective, like, I was in an advantageous position multiple times, and both times just fizzled. And I think that you can say some things about variance or whatever, but I think the big emphasis should just be like, what can I do to mitigate that? And the first thing I would do is probably just cut Thoughtseize. Like, I just want more like permanents that do things and like build the devotion over time. And maybe cutting Thoughtseize is wrong. I don't know, man, but like,
I don't think going full on devotion is going to be powerful enough against the linear strategies that exist in Modern. So maybe this is a matchup where you need to board out Thoughtseize.
So here, sure. One direction that I do want to try, this is not really the same deck, but it's in a similar archetype, is I want to build a Cabal Coffers version. Like, the difference between Nykthos and Coffers is that Nykthos thrives on permanence, whereas Coffers thrives on just having lands and interaction with your opponent. So you can be more instant sorcery based, like you can be more interactive without being too focused on permanence. And, Urborg with Cabal Coffers is not something that we've ever had in a format other than Legacy, as far as I remember. I don't think it was ever in Extended, and I think that combination of things together could be extremely powerful.
I agree that you're going to generate a bunch of mana. I've looked into that. I just don't think there's a way to efficiently sink the mana.
I mean, there's got to be something, man. Come on, it's Modern. Like, there's literally 10, 15,000
But are you going to play like Torment of Hailfire in your Modern deck?
I mean,
just, like,
Killgerm
slam
had
it
a
on
couple,
the table and
yeah.
get it counterspelled?
I don't know, man. You have a bunch of discard. Like, if you're playing, Torok Cantor, if you're playing Thoughtseize or other discard stuff. I'm just saying, like, a different direction is using Cabal Coffers instead of all these kind of cheeky permanents or whatever. Like, you don't have to, like, Nykthos was kind of the stand-in for Cabal Coffers, in my opinion, like, for forever. And they did, like, similar mana generation, but just put an emphasis on a different card type in your deck. And I just think the release of Cabal Coffers could be a reason to skew away from permanent base and go towards more mono black control, like the old school Mutilate decks or whatever,
Yeah. And on my side of things, Ignoble Hierarch looked very good. Recruiter looked good. I was impressed. I thought that when I went to a heavy combo version of the deck that you would lose a lot of that ability to sort of grind through interaction.
Yeah.
And with just a couple tutor targets, the one Sling Gang Lieutenant, ringleaders out of the sideboard, that was more than enough to do it. And so you get that combo potential in game 1 and in linear matchups, which is really important because usually, historically, Goblins have struggled against things like big mana and combo. But when you have turn 3 combos of your own and a lot of them and 8 tutors to assemble all the pieces and, Skirk Prospector, Ignoble Hierarch, and Aether Vial to power them out quickly, then, you're looking pretty good in those matchups. And you still retain a lot of that grinding potential in matchups where your opponents have Plague Engineers and removal and all that jazz. So, even though I don't think the deck looked, it didn't look great because the games were really ugly.
Yes.
But I still, in my mind, came away impressed by both of these decks.
Sure. I mean, from my side, I was very impressed by your ability to fight through such an enormous amount of interaction.
I killed Plague Engineer 3 times.
Right. And Liliana, the Last Hope, is supposed to be bonkers against you, and it was, but you just grinded through it eventually. But I think that's really the true strength of your deck is the ability to grind through traditional interaction. Goblins has always struggled against decks that just go way over the top of it or underneath it, like your burn strategies, things like that. So it's awesome to see that like the legacy version kind of is porting over almost into modern, and you're able to do a lot of similar things. And you have two different combos where Imperial Recruiter, not a goblin, but still just like a key component of being able to hybridize a normal goblin deck with a combo deck. And I think that it's cool that you can win from either direction.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to suggest for Ross's deck specifically, and you can refute this if you like, second Munitions Expert, maybe a third. Second one, that card has always impressed me. Whenever my opponent plays it, my heart sinks, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
Right now, space in the deck is really, really tight. I had to cut the one main deck Ringleader, which I really like having, one in matchups where your opponent's tearing your hand apart and things like that. For the Sling Gang Lieutenant, which is super important, and was just an oversight on my part in putting
Same
the deck
with me
together.
and Castle Lockdown. We just didn't realize who had already started playing the match.
I think I would be, maybe you don't want to play 3 Prospector. Maybe that's a card you can cut down to 2 of.
Maybe.
There's only 20 lands. I feel like I should add a 21st, especially with the way those games played out. So the space is definitely tight. There are cards that are luxuries that I would like in the main.
You think you go down to like 1 Skirt Prospector for the sack outlet since you have 8 ways to tutor for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just... you probably need to go down low on one of the elements of that combo.
Maybe one Grim Gully or
right?
1 Prospector or 1 something or another.
Yeah, but Grim Gully just looks so good with playing fair and helping against those -1/-1
Which is why I think maybe the Prospector going down to 1. Now that you have Ignoble Hierarch to kind of fill that mana generation gap.
Putrid Goblin, is going to be a lot better just playing defense against in those matchups.
I wouldn't mind going down to one of that guy too. I was not that impressed.
Yeah,
it was kind of
it's not
mediocre.
I agree, it's not a great card. So I think those are the 2 candidates to trim down on to make space for second Munitions Expert, main deck Goblin Ringleader, a 21st land. Maybe you want another remove. Maybe you want the Tarfire in the main. I don't, just sort of depending on your metagame. Maybe you want like the I've got the what is the name of this card? The Goblin Crater Maker in the sideboard. Maybe your metagame is one where this card is something you want in the main. There's I would really want like 64 cards of space in this deck, and then I would have everything I wanted. And it's just going to take a little bit of time to figure out exactly which 4 of those 64 cards are the most luxurious and thus need to be cut.
Sure. All right, well, that's going to do it for match number 2. Match number 3 today, I'm going to be playing a Jund Delirium deck focused on Bloodbraid Marauder and Ragavan as 2 new threats that can be backed up very easily by cheap removal. I think Delirium is going to be relatively easy to attain thanks to Seal of Fire, Mishra's Bauble, and a number of other elements that the deck is playing. And I'm going to be playing against...
This is an Aspiring Spike Brew that I just fell in love with upon seeing it on his Twitter page, and it's a fair Temur Cascade build taking advantage of Shardless Agent and Subtlety as additions, and we're just going to be making a lot of rhinos.
Okay, sounds good. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more Versus Live after this short break.
Welcome back to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Todd Anderson.
And we've got Josh and Booth. Say Oshkosh gosh, Josh.
Oshkosh gosh, Josh.
Josh will be taking all of your questions, comments, concerns, tongue twisters, and burns in the chat.
I cannot believe you didn't say Oshkosh Bajosh.
Make sure to tag at Star City Games so he can see them and send his favorites over to us.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore your puns just like I ignore Corey's.
That's fine. I'm going to ignore all your Utah Jazz anecdotes. That's fine. I just
like Corey does.
Yeah, just like Krispy Kreme, my eyes are just going to glaze over just every time, just to look into the void. All right, match number 3. You've technically already won the marbles.
Yeah,
they're on your side. They'll stay up there. That's fine. That's safe. Match number 3. I'm going to be playing my favorite deck of the day. This is a Jund.
Might be my favorite deck of the day, too.
Sure. A Jund Delirium deck centered around Bloodbraid Marauder, the new 2-mana Cascade card, but only if you have Delirium. It's a 3/1 for 2 mana. I believe it has to attack every turn or can't block or something. There's some downside to it.
Can't block, I think.
Can't block. So it's not as potentially dangerous as I thought. But that coupled with playing like Seal of Fire, Mishra's Bauble gives you a lot of like off-brand card types so that you can hit Delirium somewhat easily. We have 2 payouts for Delirium that cost 2 with the Bloodbraid Marauder and the Grimflayer. And aside from that, we do have a couple copies of Ragavan. and some Tarmogoyfs to shore up all of our traditional Jund stuff, like your Thoughtseizes, Inquisition Kozilek, Lightning Bolt, things like that.
Yeah, no, a very sweet-looking deck. Hopefully we get some cool card advantage, and this should be a grindy matchup where that card advantage is necessary, because this is a Temur Cascade deck. Like I said before the break, this is a deck that came to me from Aspiring Spike, so credit to him for building. I just added a sideboard. Also, found some room for some Murkwater Regents, which were not previewed by the time that he built the deck. I think there's enough fetch lands and cheap interaction that we'll be able to Cascade that one, or delve it a reasonable amount, but 8 Cascade cards, and we're just hitting Crashing Footfalls with all of them. And the key here is because we have so much interaction that technically has mana value at 3 or above. Things like Fire Ice, which is new. Things like the
Dead
Adventure
Gone.
Creatures, Dead Gone, Subtlety, another new card. And so we're still able to interact on the early turns, but the goal is turn 3, basically every game. Hopefully we're making 2 4/4s, and that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like the look of it. It's going to be fun to try to grind through. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but it'll be fun to try. All right, so I'm going to keep my hand on the play. I got some lands and some spells.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about your big creatures, because I don't really deal with them that well as a Temur deck, but should be able to deal with the little ones pretty well. I'm going to keep my hand.
All right, I'm going to bobble myself.
Get start towards Delirium.
That is a...
You're also a Lurrus companion deck, right?
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
can get your Lurrus out.
Then I'll draw this.
Okay. I just have a tapped Steam Vents, and I will pass the turn.
What did I do with my sideboard? It's just like...
Oh.
Oh, maybe I put it on top of another deck? Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. All right.
There you go. We located Todd's companion. Todd was not abandoned by Lurrus.
No.
Dogs are very loyal.
True.
They don't leave
All right,
you.
I've already drawn my card for turn, so we'll draw this. Well, we're going to fetch black-green and play Grim Flayer.
17.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, I will play Spiral Canal and stomp the Grimflayer.
Jeez. That's pretty good.
Welcome to 2021, Grimflayer.
Yeah. Don't like that.
You're up.
Okay, all right. Hate that. Oh, I should have probably been doing that. Oh, well. Let's go Inquisition, see where you're at.
Yeah, you got a Brazen Borrower. I've got a bunch of Cryptic Commands.
Okay. I'm going to fetch, and then we have Delirium because of the
Yeah,
Grim
creature,
Flare,
sorcery,
so,
land, artifact.
do this guy.
That's pretty sweet. Turn 3. And turn 3, and Todd didn't really have to do anything special here. We just played normal Magic for the first 3 turns, and Delirium is already there.
Yep.
That's a good sign. So you're fetch shocking again to 14?
Yep. And you're at 20.
I'm at 20.
still?
Yeah,
Yep.
tap Steam Vents into the canal. Let's see what the what you hit.
All right. 1, 2. Not
Keep
that.
going.
I need a 1.
Or a bauble.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh, that's the worst possible.
we'll go ahead and get it out of the deck. That's fine. I'll shuffle these in a second. I'm going to bobble you. Okay. Here you go.
Drawing my upkeep. I'll play Forest Bone Crusher.
Okay.
You're up. Not a lot of lands this game, but not in bad shape still.
All right, attack.
I will block.
All right, we'll play Grim Flayer. I'm going to fetch a Force and play Ren and 6 and get back a land.
That was not a good turn for me. You're at 13.
Yeah, getting 2 permanents on the battlefield now while he's got like his shields down is...
I assume any fetch land makes sense.
Yeah. Obviously, if we draw a Nurturing Peatland or something, we could go off.
I got to play the island here to play Cryptic Command, and I'll pass the turn.
All right. Untap. Draw for turn.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to attack.
So I could just take it and bounce something on end step or counter something that Todd plays, or I can bounce the Grimflayer to stop the trigger. I think I'm going to go for the former. I'll take it, go to 16.
Okay, so trigger top 3.
Yep. Any number can put in your graveyard, any number on top in whatever order.
I think we just want threats, so we're just going to put Bolton, Bobble in the grave.
And now you're at 5 types. Instant, I think, is new.
Sure. If I draw a Tarmogoyf, I'll count it. Get back a land. I'll put Lurrus in my hand.
Yep.
Here you go.
On your end step, I will bounce Grimflayer and draw a card.
Okay.
Play a mountain and pass the turn.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and fetch. I might need the mana to double or triple spell soon, so
Yeah, go to 12.
yeah. Gotta try to get under this cryptic command somehow. Oh, I had a card on. Actually, I need to not do that. I'm sorry, because I have a card on top that I wanted to keep.
Oh, sure. I trust you, Todd.
Yeah, it was a Ragavan. I'm drawing a Ragavan. I just want another threat. All right, sorry. Untap.
Yep.
Draw the Ragavan. You don't know about it necessarily. All right, I'm gonna fetch Swamp, and then I'm gonna plus on the Verdant.
So you're at 11.
Yeah. And then, no, it should be at 12 because I undid a fetch, I think.
Okay.
But I'm not 100%, honestly.
We'll put you at 12. 12 to 16.
All right,
Okay.
12, 16.
Josh says you're at 12.
All right,
You're
play the land, cast Grim Flare.
That's fine.
All right. So he knows I have the Lurrus, so he's trying to save for that. So let's go Inquisition, see what those cards are, / maybe take a thingy.
I will respond to the Inquisition with a Petty Theft on the Grimflayer.
Okay.
And then I will show you 2 more lands.
Okay, so he can't cast Cryptid this turn, so we could go Ragavan, attack, and then play Grimflayer? Or we can go, oh, we just go let's go Bobble. Yeah. Oh wait, Lurrus Bobble. Yeah, and then you attack that for 3, and then a minus on your thing. I'll go to 9. 9's kind of dangerous. Whatever.
So now you're at 11.
Yeah. We only have the 2 basics.
Now you go to 9. Maybe I shouldn't have traded earlier with the Bone Crusher and the 3-1.
Well, I would have fetched different, played different. All right.
Would you have?
Probably. Lurrus.
Yep.
Bobble.
Todd figured it out.
Go.
Play Borrower.
Yep. Upkeep, I'm going to look at yours. Okay. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for me.
I think I'm attacking you.
Yeah, I'm at 6.
You got a 6. Let's go.
Yeah, that's gross. All right, so Footfalls, but you can't Cryptic anymore this turn, so we're going to have to beat a lot of rhinos.
Yeah. You're at 6.
Yep.
You can go.
Yep. All right, so draw for Bobble, draw for turn. Ooh, that was actually kind of hot. All right, minus on this.
Yep. All I technically know is you have Grimflayer.
So we can. That may be. Yeah, you only know Grim.
This is also sweet.
Bolt this.
Yeah.
Okay, block. And then. Oh, I tapped badly. No, I didn't. I haven't played a land yet.
6 in hand.
Grim Flare.
Sure. Yeah, thought this might happen.
Yep. Go to 9.
Block. I guess I'll block with both.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll steal a fire one. Here we go. So that put me out of death range, but I lost my Lurrus, so it's unfortunate. But the Cryptic tapping on my stuff and attacking me to death would have been... It's not really something I can beat, so... Could have, like, maybe double seal fired on the Rhino with the Lurrus, but then I wouldn't have Bloodbraid and the Bolt, so... Okay, he big.
1, 2, 3, 4 with both of my spells.
I honestly think that card is horrible in that deck. It looks great right now, but like you do not put a lot of cards in the graveyard very quickly, other than lands, especially because
There's only 2 though. I'm not trying to turbo it out.
Oh, I thought you were just like maxed out on 4. I'm sorry.
No,
My
there's
bad.
only 2.
And then now with Cryptic, I don't think I can possibly win. So
Yeah. So at this point, you're at 9, and that's a 5/5. This thing can't block, so I think I just force the trade. So attack with the Rhino, your player blocks. That's the turn. I'm at 16. I think I just take this. Just don't know, like you have so many cards in your hand. My worry here is that you have, I'm going to have to counter like a lightning bolt. But if I don't, you could potentially just play a ton of threats here, and then the bolt kills me, and I'm going to have to counter it anyway. But I think next turn I could just tap down your creatures and then force you to have 2 burn spells to kill this. Yeah, I'm going to take this attack. I'll go to 13.
okay, I'm gonna thought seize you.
Ah, had thoughts.
Oh wait, no, you can. Yeah, I'm gonna plus first on a land, and then I'm gonna thought seize you.
Okay, well, I think I'd rather have a card than you lose 2 life, even though it does leave me the ability to draw any 2 damage spell to kill you next turn. Yeah, card seems better. Counter draw.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I was hoping you'd block. I was gonna go minus on this, and then play a second one and minus on it.
Attack you for 5.
I'm at 4.
Pass the turn.
All right. Untap. Drop. Declare tax.
Take 5.
Okay, you're 8.
8.
Trigger, get a treasure. Can I cast that? Without paying... Oh, no, I have to pay its
you have
mana
to pay
cost.
mana cost, yeah.
Can I suspend it?
No, suspends only from your hand.
Rip.
That is a brick.
How many cards are in your hand?
2.
I'm at 4.
Yep. And I'm at 8.
So this land is fine, but the other land in my hand is dead. So we have a K command, another Ren 6, but we can only deal 4 to that thing. I was trying to figure out a way to get something back, but like if we had the ability to get 1 more land, we could go K command, deal 2 here, get back Lurrus, play Seal of Fire it, Ren 6 minus. But because I'm at 4 and I only have 2 basics, I can't double fetch, so I'm dead.
Don't you only need 1 land?
So
K command, Lurrus, Seal of Fire, right?
Oh, never mind. Okay. Just miscounted. Alright, I'm gonna go to 1. Ross probably gonna kill me with something anyway, but whatever. Wait, do I even have any lands left to fetch? Yeah, I think. Blood Crypts.
So you go to 1.
Alright, let's do 2 to the Regent and get back Lurrus.
You just got to be careful to tap correctly. That's K command, that's Lurrus, that's Seal. K command resolves.
Okay, Lurrus.
Lurrus resolves.
Seal of Fire.
Resolves.
Minus.
Resolves.
Seal it. Wow, okay.
I drew 2 lands.
Okay, go. Wow, holy crap.
I've got a decent number of burn spells to kill you, though.
Oh! Wow. I can't believe it, man.
Yeah?
I can't believe it. Good night.
We've had some nice swings of variance in these games.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Fire Ice, like 4 cards down.
I won.
Yeah.
That was nutty.
I need to hit a burn spell there with Todd at 1. And,
All right, you got anything for us while we're shuffling for game number 2?
See, with how Modern's power level has been pushed recently, do you think WotC will or should revisit some cards on the ban list?
Depends on the cards. I think the artifact lands are probably fine without Opal, but
There's certainly no reason to revisit the ban list until we see what MH2 does.
Yeah.
So, right now that's a complete non-starter. In 3 months, maybe.
Yeah. But it also depends on like what you want to accomplish, and I think that there's a chance that this set actually pushes fair interactive decks like way over the threshold of like being too good or whatever. And if that's the case, maybe they would like to unban something like a Dark Depths or.
Dark Depths.
I'm just for example, just like something combo related that would kind of put something like that back into the fold. But
just spitballing maybe like a Glimpse of Nature
or a Faithless Looting. Maybe Faithless Looting. All right, you're on the play for game number 2.
I am. Let's see if we can draw not as many lands.
One thing I love about this deck is the Seals of Fire. I think that it works really well both with
Marauder and is extra type for Cascade and Lurrus. Yeah, it's Seal of Fire has already been seeing play since Lurrus essentially, but this is the best Seal of Fire deck I think in the history of time.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Seems great. All right, hand's great.
Yeah, I'll play Steam Vent Staffed and pass.
All right, 18 Inky.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So Outburst and Shardless are the same, except Shardless is a creature, so we'll just take that. So
okay.
There you go.
I'll take 2, go to 18, and pass the turn.
Upkeep.
I'm gonna.
This is a nice sequence for this deck that I think that not a lot of people really understand how that's going to go yet, because half the problem with cascading with 3-mana cards is that 1 and 2 is usually like not that interactive, and Fire Ice allows you to either interact with creatures in matchups where they're pressuring you, or tap a land to effectively time walk your opponent on turn 2 if they don't have a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
All right, so that's fine. And then I'm gonna fetch an Inky again.
I am going to force a negation. And so you're going to end up at 15.
Yeah, this is disgusting. This is just such a sick line from Ross.
And yeah, I think Murktide Regent is better than Brazen Borrower since I have 3 cards in my graveyard.
Yep. Here you go. Last card of land.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And there's no reason for me to Violent Outburst main phase. If you play discard spell, I'll play it in response, but I'll just shock myself to 16.
Yep.
And I'll pass the turn.
Okay.
Yeah, this was, and this doesn't even seem like this is a good draw, but it's not ridiculously out of the ordinary. Being on the play certainly helps.
All right, I'm gonna get a Swamp and Inquisition you.
So that'll put you to 14. I will Violent Outburst in response.
Yeah.
Cascade. There it is. And then I will show you 2 expensive cards.
Yeah. Inquisition not really at its best here, but I think it's important to focus on Inquisition over Thoughtseize in this deck.
And most lists do, and especially with Prowess being so popular, definitely right. And it's your 3rd Inquisition, like.
I think I'm just dead, because if I have a Kroxa, I'm gonna make you discard a card, but you're just gonna discard a Cryptic and play an 8/8 or whatever. Yeah. So whatever, go.
Literally 8/8. I've got 5.
Yeah, whatever. You win.
Yeah. Thank you for 8, playing 8/8.
GG. GG.
That was a triple Inquisition draw, and I made 16 power and countered one of the Inquisitions.
Yeah. I mean, that like, Cascade into Crashing Footfalls is awesome. Like, it is such a juiced pressure generator.
So much better than hitting Ancestral Vision. Like,
yeah. Imagine drawing 3 cards, but 2 of them are free 4/4s, like Mirror Enforcers or whatever,
Why don't people try Shardless Sultai and Legacy, but with just Crashing Footfalls instead of Ancestral?
I don't know, because they're dumb.
Doesn't that seem good?
Well, I think in Legacy, it wasn't like you were always cascading into Ancestral.
Yeah.
It was just like sometimes you get a Brainstorm and put Ancestral on top,
Yeah.
But you also get to play all that other cool stuff.
Well,
you want to play one more pre-board?
Like, I don't mind fetching for Tropical Island turn 1 and suspending Cascading Footfalls, right? And eventually I'll just make some 4/4s.
I don't have like a ton of stuff to bring in, so
let's go to sideboard. We're going to take a short break. We are 1-1 right now, and we'll get some sideboarding set up, and then we'll finish out this match between Temur Cascade and John Delirium. Don't go anywhere. Back to a Versus Live, where we are sideboarding in our matchup between Temur Cascade and Jund Delirium. On my side, Brazen Borrower, very weak against a deck with Seal of Fire and Renin 6.
Yeah.
So cutting as many as we can. Just want to bring in some sinkholes. I don't think Ashiok is good in this matchup. 3 mana is going to be way too slow. You're already probably fetched a few times, got your mana base set up, and you can rebuild after it. After killing it pretty easily. So not something I want here. Just want to bring in some sinkholes to kill bigger creatures and get as many borrowers out of my deck as I can.
Yep. Cryptic Command's pretty brutal against me, so we're bringing in a couple Veil Summers to protect us from that. I obviously, it's a little awkward against him cutting Brazen Borrower and losing the blowout potential of Petty Theft.
Force Negation and Subtlety, too, I think.
Yeah, no, you have a lot of blue interaction, which is why Veil is good. I'm just, lamenting the Magma... why do I always forget that card name? The one you just brought in.
Magmatic Sinkhole.
Magmatic Sinkhole. Doesn't do anything against that. But in general, we saw a lot of Inquisitions cast in the first 2 games, and multiple times they had no targets. So we're trimming 1. I obviously want 1 on the play to take away one of his Cascade effects. Kroxa, this is not really a matchup where we're trying to grind into the super late game. So the front half of it's pretty bad, and the back half is maybe too slow. So we're just going to make this quick swap.
Okay. Get your companion in there. We can get a question while Todd is finishing shuffling, if we got one.
If not, I'll just keep talking about how cool my cards are.
What do you think about Academy Manufacturer's potential in Modern?
Which card is Academy Manufacturer?
I got no clue on that one. I think that's the one that makes either treasures or it's whenever you would make a treasure, food, or a clue, you
make
instead
one
of each. That's my guess, because that's kind of what it sounds like. But I think so. Sam Black actually talked about how that card actually used to cost 2, but it was actually just completely disgusting with full-powered Lurrus, and they actually made it cost 3. So I think, there's potential for it to be good with any of the things that generate one of those things a lot, like a Tireless Tracker, or the new one that's the other one that makes food or treasure.
I would want to play it with the 1 mana sorcery that makes the O3 Crab and investigates.
Or
get your value.
The Mole Drifter that makes 2 investigates. There's it has a lot of potential, man. I don't know. All those cards are weird.
I'm a little skeptical of a deck like that because it feels like it's going to be. It feels like the kind of deck that is going to need to devote a lot of cards to its own engine, and so it doesn't have a ton of interaction, and it's not going to be fast enough to be non-interactive. But if you can somehow work enough interaction into the deck, then you have a really robust card advantage engine. And then I'm interested. So that's the challenge to me, and that's why I'm skeptical of the card. But if you can meet that challenge, then I'm interested.
Yeah. All right, I'm mulling at 6. One more while we're doing that, if you got it.
I will keep my 7.
If not, I'll just talk about how cool Cascading into Crashing Footfalls is.
Ross, what do you think about adding Inevitable Betrayal to the sideboard for big mana / reanimator decks?
And Inevitable Betrayal is...
Well, yeah, they're new cards,
Oh, this is the Suspend Bribery. Yep.
That card
so you could cut Crashing Footfalls and just hit Bribery on turn 3 against them every game?
I think that's a really cool sideboard pivot.
So my issue is that it's not good. It's not actually good against the big mana decks. It would only be good against a Reanimator strategy, but it is definitely a cool thing. If that deck becomes big, it's a really good plan against them. But taking a Primeval Titan is worse than hitting Crashing Footfalls, right?
I don't know.
Against, you don't have, you can't use Primeval Titan. And against, Tron, I guess you could find it Ulamog, but they can just Karn it.
I don't know. It just puts into play, so it's not like you get the cast trigger off of it. It's a cool pivot idea. I have to think about it more. I'm trying to figure
it would be very good against Reanimator.
All right, I'm keeping this. I got to figure out what to put back.
It would be absurd against Reanimator. It would be messed up to do that to someone.
All right, I'm going to bobble myself. I'm going to shuffle this away. I'm going to just go to 19 and get a Blood Crypt. Oh, wait, no.
You want Overgrown Tomb?
19.
And then you're just going to draw and pass?
Yeah.
Or pass and draw, I should say?
Yep.
Okay, I am going to fetch for, I think, just basic forest.
And suspend a footfall.
And suspend a footfall.
Dude, that's
doing it the hard way, baby.
That's how Richard Garfield intended.
Yeah.
All right, so draw from the bauble, draw for turn.
What, didn't you already draw from?
I have not drawn. I was shuffling my deck still.
Sure.
So, all right. I'm going to attempt to play Ren.
That is fine. Is it fine? I do have a force. And I also have a Brazen Borrower, so yeah, I'm going to Force Pitch Borrower. Sorry, I had my hand face down.
Here you go.
Okay, upkeep, footfalls to 3. Draw. I will play a Scalding Tarn and pass the turn.
You know, your deck kind of reminds me of
What?
the like Turbo Valky decks.
Yeah, that's what it was modeled after.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting. Kind of hate it. Okay, Grim Flare.
Results.
Go.
End step, crack Tarn. And I will get... Is there a catcher trying with my mana base? I don't think so. Yeah, this deck doesn't want tapped once. So let's just get a Steam Vents tapped. So I'm at 18. Upkeep, my footfalls will go to 2.
That's good. I thought I was going to get stomped, but I mean, if he's about to just play a Footfalls from hand or whatever, I'm just dead. So
Footfalls to 2.
If that Ren resolved, I'd have a lot more mana to interact and stuff over the next few turns, but I'm just in bad shape.
Charlotte's Agent into another Footfalls. Wherever it might be.
Do you have 4 in the deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
You have 8 Cascade cards. You definitely want 4 Footfalls. 2 Rhinos. You're up.
Okay, cool. Go.
Footfalls to 1.
Blech.
Alright. I will attack for 10.
Force negation exiling is just so stupid. It's just so stupid that that's how it works. It's already just like good enough as a bitch counterspell, man. I don't get it.
What's your life total right now? It's 19?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, block a Rhino.
Damage?
No.
We're going to somehow get to
No,
Delirium.
that's fine. Alright, take 8.
Yeah, taking 8, go to 11.
Yep.
Pass the turn.
Alright, bolt the Rhino. I'm gonna go to 8 fetch, and I'm gonna bolt the Charlotte's Agent. Should have maybe done that before damage, but I thought I would. There's a chance I just get clapped, and my plays would have changed if Ross did something else. I think so.
Okay. You're at 8.
Yep. Good.
You're good.
Yeah, you win. It's fine. I
Yeah,
can't.
I'm making 2 more Rhinos on your end step with a force back.
Okie dokie. Well, you
I just
didn't have
went-
force back up because you didn't have the 4th blue or whatever, so 3rd blue.
No, well, I force pitch.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were showing me the critic backup. My brain's not working.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, I just went. I was going to go double Rhino, double Rhino, double Rhino on 3, 4, 5 with 2 force negations. And that's sort of the awkward part about this matchup from your side. I think you really need the discard spells because you just can't let me have the Cascade cards. But they're so likely to be dead, so you just have to take that high variance plan because Crashing Footfalls is just so difficult for you to deal with.
Yeah.
I think what you really needed to find was Tarmogoyf because that would have allowed you to at least like contain it and start trying to set up, Lurrus
Sure.
turns and generate
like-
card advantage your own way.
I mean, my removal's also like Bold and Seal of Fire, so not Fatal Push. So, like, I couldn't even kill the 4/4s. There was a lot of things that
Yeah.
did not work super well, but I mean,
And keep in mind that the reason Todd's removal suite is built that way is because of Bloodbraid Marauder.
Yeah.
Like, cascading into Fatal Push is often completely dead, whereas if you hit Seal and Bolt, you're at least generating some value.
Mm-hmm.
And that may be, maybe reason that Marauder doesn't go in a deck like this and instead goes in like a different version of Prowess.
or a different version of Burn, like the old, like the old versions of Burn that played Lurrus, like moved towards Bobble. Like you could maybe do that, but that
Yeah.
seems like a lot of work. I don't
But
know.
yeah, I'm talking about like a Boros Prowess list that also goes Delirium, and you're playing the 8 Prowess creatures, the 1/1 that surveils when you cast a non-creature,
Yeah.
and this card. Those are your 16 creatures, right? and then you have Bauble, 4 Seal of Fire. I'm not sure if that's enough to get Delirium often enough, because you need some sorceries in your deck too.
I mean, you could play Lava Spike or something.
You play Light Up the Stage, so that's already
Splash
a sorcery.
Blue for Expressive Iteration.
But you need to be white for Lurrus, I think. I think that's
Jeskai. It's easy. Jeskai's easy enough. I mean, like, you take damage. Like, if you're playing 2-color, like, you're fetch shocking enough anyway. But maybe, I don't know, man.
The problem is you're on too low of a land count.
I would rather focus on this deck. I think this deck is good, and I think Bloodbraid Marauder is good too. I can't beat like a bunch of 4/4s. Like, I'm a Jund deck. What do you want from me?
I mean, a normal Jund deck with Fatal Push and stuff can do that, right?
But not really. Not when you're like making 4/4s and then untapping and then making 2 more 4/4s. Like, it's not like you end at 1 Crashing Footfalls. Your deck is literally designed to Crashing Footfalls every turn for 3 turns straight while counterspelling all my stuff. Like, your deck's great. Your deck's awesome. Like, it's extremely powerful. My deck cannot handle it. So, like, I don't want you to think that my deck is bad because I can't beat a Crashing Footfalls every 2 turns. I'm an interactive deck, you know? Like,
I also think your deck is going to struggle with a lot of different creatures in the metagame, and one of the things the Prowess deck does well is Soulscar Mage allows your burn spells to control those bigger creatures, or you can just get really aggressive and sort of swarm them.
Yeah,
you don't really have either of those options in this build.
Yeah, I don't think that, like, Sorry, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's fine. I'm just flustered.
I do think the Bloodbrain Marauder was good. I think it just fits into a more aggressive shell.
So what I was going to say is that you can just have your 2-drop removal spells be the ones that can kill any creature. Like, not playing Fatal Push is fine if you want to be more aggressive, which I'm trying to be. That's kind of how I built the deck. I should probably be playing, like, more Ragavans, and you brought up playing the 1-drop Surveil, the new dragon thing, the 1-drop that's like Delver Secrets of Delirium or whatever.
Yeah, it has a long name.
That card plus all the stuff in this deck could be like a potential way to go. Maybe it's even just black-red and you skew away from green. But I think Bloodbraid Marauder definitely is great, and I want to try more things with him. And maybe it's the Prowess deck. Maybe you can make it fit somewhere like that. I honestly don't know. These cards are so powerful, man. I just have no idea how to build around them yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, and when I saw this deck, I thought, this looks great. It's just from playing here, it's the deck building restriction that Marauder places on you, I think forces you in a more aggressive direction.
Yeah,
and
I
you took
agree.
a more aggressive, but if you're going to be forced in that direction, I'm just saying, why not just go full bore?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, and you're right on that. I just think, like, changing decks completely is not necessarily, you don't have to do that. Like, I'm just saying, like, this deck can exist as is with just a more aggressive 1-drop slant.
And playing other 2-mana removal that works. I mean, there's...
I had some decays in there, but, decay, like, specifically against, like, if I'm playing against normal Jeskai control or all the stupid Cryptic Command normal control decks, like, I think this build's extremely good.
Yeah.
Or
even
like,
just a Prowess deck.
Right.
You have
but
big
you have a lot of those
removal.
same elements, except you just have, Charlatan 2 4/4s on turn 3. I just can't. My deck is not capable of doing anything about
my
it.
control deck has 3 mana, 10 power, and 3 bodies.
Yeah. No big deal.
But I only get to play 8 of them, Todd.
Well, you could play 12. If you wanted to play
I
another
could
color.
just play like 16 or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got, man. This deck seems really interesting. I would like to play. Like, I would love to play this deck in like some Magic Online leagues. So if that's something that you're into, if you're like the style of deck, just go play some and figure out what you think to change because it's brand new. That's the whole point of right now, And
the biggest thing for me is it seemed pretty easy to get to Delirium, and I think Bloodbraid Marauder is a really powerful payoff if you're getting to Delirium, and if it's easy to do that, I'm interested. Wish we had gotten to see more subtlety out of my deck, but sometimes the games just don't go that way.
Yeah, and we play 3 games and draw it. Like we're not playing best 5s. We're not playing 1,000 matches or whatever.
So I think that is going to do it for today. Yeah, we are right at the end of the show. So if we got some subs, why don't we thank them, and then we can thank our sponsors and head out of here.
Yep, we got Brew Sipper who subscribed for their 2nd month in a row. Said
Nice.
Good to see Todd back in the hot seat. Zachary AD also subscribed with Prime.
Thank you.
And Tron Travolta subscribed for their 18th month.
Nice.
Saying had to resub for the return of the Mac.
2 sub babies.
Turn of the Mac.
That's sub twins.
Tron is in my chat all the time. I love him.
Thank you very much to all of our subs. Thank you for that support. If you would like to support Star City Games in another way, you can join SCG Premium $7.99 a month will get you access to exclusive content from our wonderful staff of content creators, as well as some other perks, which are 5% off of sealed product, 10% off of singles, and 15% off of supplies. So head on over to starcitygames.com/join-premium and sign up today.
Yep, you can also check out Colas Apparel. Colas Apparel is a company that makes awesome t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. colasapparel.shop/SCG.
Just colasapparel.shop. You want to use the gift code SCG.
Use gift code SCG, colasapparel.shop, and you can check out all sorts of awesome shirts like the ones that Ross and I are wearing right now. He has the Charles Pilgrim versus the Multiverse. I'm wearing the Black Lives Matter shirt. You can also check out the Roll Todd shirt, the one I wore yesterday, if you want to help me out a little bit, because every time I get like $4 every time someone buys that shirt, so I'm pretty happy about it. Other than that, I don't know. You're the pitch guy. I don't remember.
You'll get 10% off by using that gift code. Our other sponsor is Carnox chairs. If you like these sweet gaming chairs that we are sitting in, you can check those out at carnox.com/SCG, and be sure to use that affiliate link because you will get 10% off of your purchase there as well. Next up is previews for Modern Horizons 2.
Yep. If you go to starcitygames.com right now /previews, you can pre-order Modern Horizons 2. You can get singles or sealed product. This is going to be a set that's going to sell out pretty quick. It's going to be hard to get some of these cards over the course of the next year or two. And if Modern continues as being popular as it is right now, supply is going to dip. So you need to get your cards quick before they all shoot up in price. I mean, we see it every single time one of these supplemental sets comes out. Force Negation starts off at $30, and then before you know it, it's over 100. So go ahead and check out that right now to get your pre-orders on. Pick up your MH2.
And if you need a little extra cash to pick up the cards and product that you have your eye on from MH2, Star City Games is always buying cards, and the process has never been easier because there's so many ways to do it. You can use the buy list feature on the website. You can mail your cards into SCG and let them do the work for you. You can make an appointment and come into SCG to handle the business. And if your collection is large enough, SCG will come to you for that appointment. So a lot of different ways to handle whatever your specific needs are. And always keep in mind that if you're trading in your cards to SCG for store credit, you will get a 30% bonus on that trade-in.
Yep. And we want to buy a lot of cards right now, so I think our buy prices are pretty high, pretty good.
And last but not least is the Star City Games weekly sale. This week's sale is 25% off all
gaming
supplies. That is going to be going on until this coming Monday at 10:59 a.m. Eastern Time. So still got several days to check that out.
Yeah,
and
with live play coming back, you're going to need dice, you're going to need play match, you're going to need all sorts of stuff to make sure that you are prepared to play your match and not have to borrow a bunch of stuff from your opponent.
Exactly.
Because they went to Star City Games and took hold of the sale, so you better too.
So take advantage of that, and you can find everything that is involved in that sale at starcitygames.com/sale.
Yep.
Pretty intuitive there.
New sale every single week, so that link to starcitygames.com/sale always has something cool going on, so make sure you check back on that regularly.
Exactly. So that is going to do it for today. Get your brooms out with that nice little sweep.
Okay.
Not a great return.
Oh, guess who gets to pick the matchups for Tuesday? See, that's what you sound like with that mask on, okay? Not me,
Well, Todd, you've got one more show here before Corey comes back from his vacation.
Look, if I get swept again, I'll probably just leave. I'll just never come back.
You got one more opportunity to get those marbles, and it's the most important one because it's the last one. You want to end on a positive note. So we're going to be back here on Tuesday at our regular time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, this very same channel. It'll be Todd's last show here in this stint, though I'm sure we'll have him back in the future.
Yeah, I will say that I'll probably be a somewhat regular contributor, but, this is the Ross and Corey show right now. Maybe things will change in the future, but right now, I'm just popping in whenever someone needs a vacation. So.
Yeah. Well, we love having you here. It's been a great week. You got one more show to come up with some sweet Modern Horizons decks. I'm sure the lovely people in our audience and on social media will help you out with that if you want.
I'm just going to steal all of Aspiring Spike's decks like you did. So.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks for that one, Everett.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So that's going to do it for today. And for Josh, Todd, I'm Ross. We'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks for coming by.